to July 6th, so we're less than 30 days out.
Oh yeah,
way closer than that. Yeah,
we're in the database.
We're in the Matrix now. Oh man.
We got 3 weeks in town. That fourth. Today's a Friday. 3 more Fridays, and then the fourth Friday will be
On the road.
on the road somewhere.
Feels like it's coming quick.
I do not have the itinerary.
It's coming quick, but at the same time, as soon as June hit, did you not feel like you're supposed to be on the road already right now?
do.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, because all the memories are popping up from the previous trips. So.
Right now, we'd be midway through normal.
Yeah, I had today when I woke up, I had a memory. We would be in Oregon today.
Yeah.
So
when we was on
From
the
last
coast.
year.
Yeah.
Because it's been, last 2 years that we've been the very beginning 2 weeks of June?
Mm-hmm.
It's always been June, but it had varied a little bit timing-wise.
The only time it wasn't June is when we did the Sturgis trip, obviously.
Yeah.
But other than that, June's been the sweet spot. But yeah, man. I don't know. When I was up at Covington's last week, every time I go up there, I feel like I'm in Sturgis because the land looks like kind of like the plains of outside of the Black Hills. And I just started when I left there and I was coming back home on Monday night. I was happy, like weirdly like joyous, if that's a fucking way to put it. Damn, I'm the one demonetizing this already. Try not to say the F word for like the first 5 minutes. But anyway. No, like being up there and coming home and just seeing the land, I'm just like so excited to start riding somewhere.
Yeah.
And it just feels like I haven't done any motorcycling. I didn't even get to ride at the Campout.
Yeah.
So I feel less of a biker than ever before right now.
I get that.
Yeah, I feel like, besides, Road to Texas Hills, but that was just in your own state, so it really didn't feel like we went anywhere.
Yeah.
The other night I was watching Wheelo's little video of him and his wife, and it
cool.
kind of got me pumped up about ready to hit the road. Mm-hmm. I started thinking about it. I was like, man, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
I just love seeing stuff like that for people that we know and people that, we consider like our circle in a sense because, we've been doing it for quite a while now and it's awesome to see our stuff, but I love seeing other people finding that same, joy themselves. And I know just in the videos that they both had released and put out, you could see that like, this changed us in a sense.
Yeah.
Like it was very impactful for both of them. So and we get that.
Yeah.
100%.
I don't think it's possible. I mean, obviously it's possible. I don't know how you can go on a trip and not be like, I'm doing this forever, or as long as my body will let me. And that's the thing I think people don't think about.
Yeah.
Is it doesn't feel like it's a toll on your body, but it is. It's kind of like micro things. Yeah. And eventually, you say, oh, I'm going to do it later. Next thing you know, you're 45 and, your fused discs, you can't fucking ride anywhere, some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, as soon as I hit 40, shit started breaking, dude. Straight up.
Yeah, I feel you. Same thing with the motorcycles. As soon as you hit certain like benchmarks, just stuff for no reason at all, just kind of starts falling apart and shit.
Yeah.
I've had tennis elbow for like 2 months now. Right. Won't go away.
I went to the chiropractor yesterday, and he pretty much told me I had scoliosis.
Hey,
you give that good head, huh?
I was like, how much longer I got in me, doc?
Max, crooked as a question mark.
I'm telling you.
Speaking of Oregon, today was the 1 year Jacob's dentist office visit.
Your jerk off dentist office?
Yeah.
Wait, that story never came out.
He was in the
the
dentist
whole
office
story.
a year ago today. So yeah.
Hey.
Well, it always pulls on the heartstrings a little bit anytime we see like previous videos or photos or anything that we, whether we put it out online or just circulate it amongst ourselves, it always pulls on.
Yeah, yesterday was the 1 year of you in front of the Bigfoot statue in the Redwoods.
Oh,
That
was hilarious.
When I drove up there to do the podcast stuff, I drove back kind of in the same route that we rode up there. Mm-hmm. So I stopped at some of the same spots on the coastline that we had stopped to take pictures. I changed my windshield wipers out was it Gold Beach that we stayed in?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And drove by the campsite we were at, and remember the car falling down the hill?
Oh, yeah.
All that crazy shit.
Did you get the wipers from the place we got the
The grocery store?
Probably it was a Napa.
Yeah, it was that like weird old one that had
Yeah.
the tall shelves
Oh,
in it.
yeah.
I remember that.
You didn't stop in that bar and get no pizza?
Dude, it was early in the morning.
So,
I would never forget that car coming down.
I took a
that
picture of my
hill.
Jeep right
That
there.
was a year ago where we were just like Goonies.
Yeah, that's the one I had come on
Goonies
this morning.
type shit
Yes,
with
that's
the
what
rock
exactly
out
what I
there
thought.
and
Goonies.
we never die, baby. Come
Yeah.
To me, because these things they kind of pop up on the algorithm or the internet because of the way that the internet works for a year or 2 years or whatever. I can't wait personally to look back way beyond our 1 and 2 and whatever. I would love to see, hey, you remember when we did this 20 years ago type thing? And I don't know. I don't feel like it's one of those things that should or will ever stop, but
Just has to evolve, obviously.
100%.
Yeah.
And which, like I said, we have a milestone this year. We're finishing off the 48, and then we got a lot of shit to figure out. I got a lot of ideas that, I'd like to put on the table whenever we get ready to have those meetings, but we gotta get our feet wet with like crossing international borders.
Oh, for
You know what I
sure.
mean?
Yeah,
For
I'm
sure.
ready. Say when.
For sure.
BDR.
I've been there.
2 years
EDR.
from now.
EDR?
2
Yeah.
years. I'm good. Let's
2
go.
years.
That was 2 years ago.
That's plenty of time.
Are y'all all passported up?
I need to
I
get
am.
that
currently.
I am.
Absolutely.
Not me still.
I'm mixed. Yeah,
Someone
next
sent
month.
me. I
month.
should probably say this. Someone sent me. One day I came home I came back to the shop from lunch. There was an envelope in my door that said Jace, and it was a money order and an application for a passport.
You don't know who it was?
I have no idea who it was.
Really?
Okay, then.
Somebody's trying to get you primed up,
Yeah.
ready to go.
Hey, well, I didn't.
Well,
It's
who
a
was
Canadian Mounties.
Who was the last
Trying to set
podcast
you
you did?
up.
And y'all was talking about EDR. Oh, that's Danger
Probably
Dan.
Danger Dan, yeah.
Dan.
Well, I mean, that to me that seems like the easiest way to get your feet wet, like doing the EDR, going across into Mexico with
Because
all
there
these
will
other
be
bikers.
people. Yeah, right.
You're
right.
and doing a
You're
lot of the
right.
Baja and stuff like that, which that could be our Southwest trip.
But I feel if we do it, we need
No,
to
you're
cross
right.
over in like Big
Texas?
Bend or something
Yeah.
and ride through those mountains, the Chihuahua Mountains or whatever.
I mean, I think maybe doing that or going and getting our feet wet with everybody else crossing into Mexico and then coming back home
That way.
in a different way, that might be a little bit more sustainable.
There's just more security behind it too.
Yeah.
Strength in numbers, that type of thing.
Yeah.
I would be less concerned about riding a nicer bike if you're riding with
A group.
a group
Yeah.
of a couple hundred type thing. But I mean, absolutely, I think that would be I think that's a lot of people's how they dip their toes for the international border crossing.
I was talking with Eric about it at Texas Hills.
'cause
You
he
know, he
went,
just
yeah.
did it, and man, he said they didn't have no issues. You know,
He's also Mexican.
yeah, but he don't even speak Spanish.
Yeah, but he's got to look it. He's got to look it.
He just
Right.
knows food. No, but he was saying it. Though, I was asking about the insurance and stuff or whatever. He's like, I think it was like $200 for the bike insurance for the Mexican insurance or whatever. So I mean, that's
I know,
If you're really worried about it, you could always do an equal rider.
yeah, good. Yeah.
That's for rich people.
I just
How
wonder
much-
what they allow
how much is
for international
It's not that much,
purposes.
is it?
Shit, it's
Like,
like
is it-
$200 or $300 a day.
Is it really? I thought it was like maybe 150.
But it's like a month, or you can sign up for like a monthly subscription too, or whatever, and they give you.
It's like
I
a
wanna say,
timeshare.
It is.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is in a sense.
They get you. It's like Craig's boat club.
Oh yeah, we get the fucked up one as it's stranded out in the jetty or whatever.
Won't crack. Runs out of gas.
Oh man, but no, I think that would be a good way to get our feet wet doing that, and we'll be on the California Baja.
That'd
And
be sick.
For sure.
But the way Dan was talking about how they went down to the tip and rode back up, that would be sick
Yeah.
too.
Absolutely. I'd love to go down to La Paz.
Yeah.
Essentially, before you're going down into like pushing into Cancun and stuff like that, that would be.
That's mainland.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be so pretty.
I would like to take the ferry over.
Cartel territory.
Yeah,
bro. Got no karate to get through there.
yeah, I'd like to start from like Cabo,
Narcos land.
Cabo and go up. That'd be awesome. It's a long rip.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think all in time. I think also, 2 years from now, fuck, we might all be on goddamn Pan Americas by then or some shit. Who knows?
Not this white boy.
Listen, yeah, y'all know I'm open to whatever, but and I've been pushing the Canadian adventure for some time now, so that still isn't off the table for me by any means.
Yeah, that one for sure. we'd have to do like some due diligence to make sure we
For
can all
sure.
get in
For sure.
and do all that stuff. So Canadian would be dope though.
Yeah, I mean those are the two most practical ones for anybody in the U.S. Right?
Yeah.
With Canada, there's a lot less. You have to pick. Really need to kind of pick where you want to go.
Yeah, hyper
For
focus.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah.
it's so
And
far
it's a lot. So with us geographically, Mexico's so much easier of to get to as opposed to you'd almost
We would definitely
that
need
would
to
be
like,
worth a trailering to
Yeah.
the border or something.
trailer up to like Salt Lake or something like that, or one of those areas. Go take it to fucking Woodgrain's house and drop the trailer there over
There
in
you
Twin
go.
Falls.
No, I don't
He's got
disagree.
space.
Completely
Missoula
change our
boys.
start
Tell you
point.
the Missoula boys.
Yeah.
Drop
Those
the
dudes
trailer
came and fucking
They
leaned
did,
into
dude.
the camp
That
out
was
this
awesome.
year.
That was awesome.
Their trip down there had me jonesing for real. Like they ended up linking up with Danger Dan in Terralingua and just at a campfire on bikes. Dude.
Wow. Yeah, they was showing me some pictures and stuff of when they left. It was like freezing cold,
Yeah.
like icicles hanging off their bike and shit. I was like, y'all are wild.
I love it,
It'd
man.
still be cold up there, man. So you
Yeah.
kind of just gotta buckle up and make it happen if you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, your riding season is just as short can be.
Right.
If you're waiting for an 80-degree sunny day, it's just a few of them.
That's when you definitely invest in a heated suit for sure.
Just
Right.
go to Sturgis and then leave Sturgis and keep going north.
Absolutely.
You're probably already pushing into cold times then, though,
I
right?
feel like
August? No.
August probably
Yeah, you're good.
the most safe time to go up there.
You're good.
Because then because like a lot of the
They
mountains,
still in August they still hit 100 degrees.
Absolutely.
yeah.
About
So
Montana, right?
a lot of the
Or up
mountains,
into Canada.
Into
yeah,
Canada.
yeah.
No, you're definitely good.
You'll still get like right now if you go try to like cross paths like in June. That's why we've always had a hard time getting over like certain passes right now.
They still have the permafrost. Like
Or
it's,
it may
it's-
be better
It's
to-
still the end of the spring. Like
Yeah.
it's not summer yet. August you'll have a 2 or 3 month thaw, and that's the best. Like it's not like Australia or something like that. That it's opposite seasons. It's exact same seasons as what we have here. It's just more drastic or dramatic up there.
Yeah, yeah.
They got
Maybe.
wildfires right now.
Yeah. Ain't that?
Is that on the East Coast or West Coast?
Northeast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smoking out of New York City
It was
right
good.
Yeah. Bad.
But
First
it's good
time.
now. Because Ashley and them
James
landed.
Franco first time
Oh
for the West
yeah,
Coast.
Yeah.
Oh man, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, well,
What
she landed at 11 o'clock this morning. She sent
It
me
was
pictures,
clear?
and it was clear.
That's good.
Oh, she went to New York? Oh, nice. Well, I was wanting to do the Indian Larry block party, but it's like smack dab in the middle of our second half of our trip this year. So that's off the table for me.
Oh, it's in the middle?
Yeah. Like as soon as we leave, it's that weekend.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, so we should probably get on track. So Fast Life Campout 6. What I loved seeing was more people making real videos out of it. Like Sax's video, obviously Wheelo Skilo, like people actually making real content or long form content, if you will, instead of a bunch of reels. Reels are great, but it's like they don't really capture like the essence of things is the same way, you know? But another rager.
Yeah, it was wild from what I remember.
Ain't that
You
the
made it
truth?
every night this
Hey,
time.
I
That's
did.
true. Shit, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Saturday, I was struggling. I was struggling Saturday, but
You got penetrated at one point, right?
Bro.
Yeah, dude.
Thursday.
I seen
Yeah, you
pictures
got
of
fingers.
that.
I seen pictures. Yeah. That was when I was.
Your
locked
ass
out.
kept coming out everywhere. It was on. It was
I remember the picnic
It'd be like
table.
that
the
sometimes.
picnic table. Yeah.
It'd be like that. I mean, somebody's got to liven it up, right?
Yeah.
I ain't mad at
We
you.
had the mosh pit going on. I think Kyle knocked me down in the dirt. About 3 people lifted me up before I can even get up.
No, it was a party, but I think it also embodied the spirit of kind of what we wanted to be more than ever, as far as with the trips, people making it a part of their trip, whether before or after the motor swap. That
That was
that's the
rad.
kind of
That
shit that
was
it's
crazy,
it's
yeah.
kind of out of a movie, out of a if somebody was doing and we could do this but it was real life and just it was also I was kind of I guess in my own world. I didn't really fully know what was going on, but I heard it. I heard the roar of people when they fired it up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh
Yeah.
fuck, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then put 2 and 2 together later because I did see them working on it. Sick, dude.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole
Pretty rad.
fucking thing. Like I said, it was.
And he got help
badass.
from somebody he didn't know, right? That was
Yeah,
just coming to the
RPM
camp.
Cycles.
Yeah, that's right.
Out of Oklahoma
That's
City,
right.
and then somebody from Missouri came down and picked him up, I believe, on the trailer, brought him to the camp out, and then he said he got there like late at night. It's all. I don't think I released this on the video. I got like 2 hours worth of footage for the second half of the camp out video, so I haven't had the time to go through it yet, but that was one part that I had to watch a lot, was a little interview with him talking about what happened. And his motor blew right outside of Little Rock, on like in between Memphis and Little Rock. He put it on the internet. I know I reshared it, and I think some other people reshared it. Somebody from Oklahoma City said they had a motor, they'll bring it to the camp out. The guy from Missouri came down and picked him up on the trailer. He was there that night. Sat around the campfire at 5 a.m. Decided, fuck it, I'm gonna go start tearing my motor out right
dude,
now.
a motor.
It doesn't.
a motor, not a fucking
Not a
air filter.
clutch.
Yeah,
Not-
not a fucking motor.
Yeah, right.
That's next level.
Yeah.
wild.
That's next
It was-
level.
But like I said, the roar of the people was undeniable. I mean,
Yeah.
what the fuck? And then after the fact, putting it together, I felt special just being there. That was
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
one of the
And
like,
it cranked first try.
yeah.
That's pretty impressive. He didn't miss a plug or nothing,
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
I was standing right there when they fired
Yeah.
it up. I was like, holy shit. This
But
is wild.
If nothing
This
else,
is biker shit.
at this point, I feel like I don't know. I can be sad. Like if you were able to quantify the exact amount of people there, if it never grows at this point,
Yeah, same.
one more motherfucker. I feel like the vibe, the whatever you want to call it about it, is there. Like the roots, the whatever. Like it's
Yeah.
what it is solidified. The origin,
I agree.
the purpose.
I don't-
And at this point, I don't care if it grows. If it does, awesome. But if
Right.
it doesn't, fuck,
Well,
dude, this is it. We did it.
At one point, I was kind of in this. I think last year I was like, "Oh, yeah, more people, more
Just
people."
grow.
Yeah, but this year was a comfortable. Like this year was less than the year before.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
But I wouldn't say by much, and it didn't fucking matter.
Right.
And
No.
that's what there is intimacy. You've always brought that up, and we talk about that a lot. But once it grows past like if like 1,500 people, if they came to the camp, I feel like I think that would be the maximum overload of like being able to really connect with people and talk to people. It would just be like small camps everywhere, you know?
I mean, I feel like it, even at
It's-
this
yeah,
year's, it
it's-
was kind of, I mean, I didn't get to talk to everybody, you know,
Yeah.
but
Well, the Montana boys, I talked to them once. Hey, hug your neck. Let me get back to you. And swear to God, somehow the
Right.
rest of the weekend, I never saw them again the rest
Right,
of the weekend,
right.
or
Yeah.
didn't get a chance to visit with them anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good.
It's
but like I said, it means everybody kind of doing their own thing. When they leave the house, it's their trip. That's a
Yeah.
destination.
It's a reason.
And when they
yeah.
get there, you know, just like you said, you ain't got to be center of attention or anything like that. Just do your own thing, have a good time, and I think everybody did. You know,
I also believe that those who have made it a priority to be a part of this year over year understand what it is and understand the value in it to the point where, you know, I think we're kind of done explaining or selling you the story of why you should come. You kind of either figure out that this is for you or this is like
Yeah.
Sturgis no longer sells, hey, please come. You either are or you aren't,
It's
and that's
happening
totally up
every
to you.
year,
And
yeah.
it's going to be there each and every year for us to do, regardless of number, because of the foundation and the base that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
End of the day, like those who do attend have a wonderful time. Those who don't, I guess that's just. I get it. Like you either feel like you missed out or you couldn't make it happen or whatever it is. But
Yeah.
I'm no longer feeling badly for you in a sense, if that makes any
Yeah.
sense. Like it's, if you come, you come. If you don't, you don't. That's all good.
Yeah, I think we've kind of touched on it at one point in some podcasts recently where it's like, I think that these smaller, I think it's good to couple a couple big events and a couple small events, and our camp out being something on the small spectrum when you're talking about Daytona or Sturgis, right? When you go to these big events, I know a lot of people, it becomes a vacation time thing. Like, I got this much time off, you know, what's going to be the bang for my buck? And the bang for your buck visually is always going to be the Sturgis, the big bright lights, the everybody's going, the hype, right? But I guess what I'm trying to say is like I'm at a point now where when you walk into a bar, if you walk into a bar and there's a fucking 45-minute wait for a drink, do you want that? Or do you want to walk into the bar where it's just the right amount of people, you can walk in, get your drink, get back to doing what you're doing?
Everybody knows your name.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want to be somewhere where you have a chance to...
Or at least they're open to knowing your name type thing.
Yeah.
It's not a...
You're going to be able to connect with more people, and you're going to be able to enjoy more the services of this event has, because it's less people going on versus like at Sturgis, you're getting in where you fit in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, I'm not saying that like, I'm saying if you can go to Sturgis every year of your life that you can. But take some chances with these smaller events that you see more people and like traveling to. You know, like why would you come to this part of Oklahoma? Who the fuck would go there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it goes back to also that, you know, we spoke on it before is time off and all that. And like you just touched on, you know, if you're going to take your 1 or 2 weeks off a year and like you said, the big lights and all that draws you attention, you want to go spend it at one spot and more relax and having exactly. Yeah. Instead of breaking it up and okay, I'll do 5 days at Sturgis and then 5 days for the Campout or something. You know, some people would rather spend
what
it at
Wheelo
one
and them
spot.
did is the perfect thing. Like if you really want to ride motorcycles and travel on it, it's kind of that the time of the Campout is a little difficult to go do mountain stuff. You know what I mean? Because the weather is still kind of up there, but you know, you can do a nice little Southwest kind of trip on that, and you can still do a lot of New Mexico mountains and stuff. But I think using the Campout as part of a bigger trip, or you know what I mean,
or you're in
the way the Missoula guys
or
did.
Whatever, yeah.
I love the day there at Horseshoe Bend. Like I was happy, but it brought back that whole day, including Chance being afraid of the whole just being out on that rock.
Oh,
Took that picture.
I didn't like that shit neither.
Yeah, but Chance was real deal.
Yeah.
Somebody stomped on it.
He's like, oh,
Quit playing, man.
he wouldn't even look up at the camera because he was like, he just locked into the ground to the earth.
But I was happy about them. Like I said, just anytime you see somebody that's been through somewhere you've been, there's something kind of cool about that.
But yeah, I think, like I said, the Campout, like honestly, man, like nothing's changed. Like you said, it's really not much for us to like drill down your throat because we've said it so much in the past, and it's just, you know, and another great point you just brought up, it's like, we really don't have to promote it now. Yeah. We put the dates out, let everybody know, and then...
Well, like you say, there's enough content out there where everybody can see
how
it's like.
We're going to be there.
You know, yeah.
We know that certain people that we fuck with are going to be there. Yeah. So, honestly, we're good. Yeah. You know?
Well, and I think it's one of those things, you're going to either take somebody's testimony or you're not. Yeah. And, like, just out of our group, generally speaking, we've pretty much touched toes on every big event somewhere, one or two or 8 or all of us, like throughout this whole country, right? And we still say to this day, like, that's our favorite thing that we do each year. And we're not saying that because we're biased. We truly feel that way. And then add to that, many other people say the same exact thing. So, like I said, take the testimony for what it is. You either want to find out for yourself or you don't, and that's either way, like, no skin off our back type thing. Yeah,
that's what it came to. I mean, this year was about getting content. I think you know, that happened real well. Like I said, the Sax's video was really nice, especially with the animations on the back end. Like, I was really proud of him, like, stepping out and like making an actual video and trying to get him to take that camera from sideways and turn it horizontal and make content that, like, some legacy content, stuff that'll last longer than you know, the reels last on social media and stuff. So his video was badass. You know, Big Trouble came out. That was a huge help with them running that bike show stuff. Definitely should have turned the microphones off on the stage a lot sooner.
Second that.
You said it. You said it. I didn't say it.
A lot, dude. I'm at this point now in my life where I have blackout moments. You know what I mean? I've never had that drinking before. It's a very new thing for me, so it's weird.
Oh, first time?
To where, like, you know, I guess you guys, so you know what I'm talking about. I have to explain it to you. There was a point, I don't remember a fucking thing on there, but I do remember going to my tent, coming back out, and walking up while Sit Down Steve was doing a burnout.
For the burnout, yeah.
And then coming back to my tent and then waking up the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and
I would say this: Saturday night, it looked like you were having the time of your life. Like really, yeah. I mean, it looked like you were just having a ball. Like
they said I was peeing with the microphone. Like
I don't remember that, but
That was like hour 4 up there, hour
Probably,
5.
yeah.
I don't know. Everybody had dissipated at that point.
Yeah.
Jason's still on stage, dude.
yeah, I think we stayed up there till
So
like
embarrassing.
11, and we was back towards the canopies and stuff, and we were watching from afar. And I mean, it looked like you were having a blast. So I was like, hell yeah. He's having a good time. He's fucked up, but he's having a good time.
I love it because
they
the
need a
beginning,
microphone.
the beginning of it, like when you look back at it, like everything began daylight, like pretty early.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then we're like, yo, it's like Sunday.
yeah.
They're still
It's
doing
midnight,
stage
bro.
presentation.
Yeah, that's gonna change next year for sure. But yeah, I don't know. It was a I don't know. Fuck, dude.
I like how some things don't change. I like the fire.
Yeah.
The main fire pit. It always brings people around. It's a constant. So no matter what, you can always, like, if the rest of your group goes to sleep and you're over by your tents and your trailers, you can always kind of navigate. That's your North Star.
Yeah.
And that son of a bitch will have people until the next
Until
morning.
daylight, yeah, for sure.
Like I said, there may be some nose nachos going on, but it's there. No matter what, the campfire will always have people around it until the same thing. That people came up, that people have made friends.
Yeah.
Like there were people that showed up, maybe 1, 2 dudes solo, whatever, but left with. I mean, I saw it all weekend where I saw people hitting it off that did not necessarily know each other or putting the Instagram face to the name kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it stands. It's doing what we wanted it to.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all grossed up almost.
Yeah, well, those basic necessities of camp out. Like I still, like we don't have bands. I don't think that's ever going to be a thing at our camp out. There's just a lot of those simplistic things that if you put that on the table and let the people entertain themselves versus trying to tell people like, hey, we're providing you all your entertainment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's what Sturgis is doing. That's what Buffalo Chip's doing.
Right.
They're charging you $40, $50, $60 a day to get into that bitch.
Go watch
and they're
Kid Rock or whatever.
yeah, and you can you're gonna have a good time.
Limp Bizkit this year.
There
Okay,
you go.
shit.
But I agree.
It's all for the nookie.
The thing that I'll say
Are we gonna
is,
have to break stuff?
is probably one of the coolest things, and when you talk about evolution, is like the size of camp spaces that people have kind of grown into, and just being able to lace anything that they kind of can out the best that they can. I think because of the amount of people now that do travel a significant distance to come to the event, it's almost like the least you can do, the least we can do to be able to, here's a fucking hot dog or here's a whatever it is, you know what I mean? But I love that because that's community, that's camaraderie, that's, hey, I don't know you, but let's get to know each other type thing. And I think that's where this thing started, and that's definitely where it stays. Exactly.
Yeah, there's like I said, organically grow, keep it basic, never turn it into something that's more work than it needs to be. Like you start managing bands and fucking all that stuff, like it becomes like a job, and then I don't want to stress out there. You know what I'm saying?
You're asking
Like,
for a headache at that
it was
point.
already stressful enough having to walk up there and talk to the fucking cops every 30 minutes and shit.
Yeah.
That was wild, dude. That was the first. I mean, that was the first for
it's
ever.
first.
Any of the campouts that cops showed up. Well, they showed up, but then they're last
They were
year they
chill.
were cool as shit.
Right,
They was like, you want us to block the road off? But
That was the sheriff's, the state troopers
Yeah,
weren't
when
about
the
it.
state troopers showed up, it was they were
Yeah.
being dickish, I guess. But
What do you say? I'll get every trooper out here in a 80-mile radius.
you ain't got enough cars, homie.
Yeah, something. We'll load up every bike on a bunch of flatbeds. I'll get 20 flatbeds out here. Something stupid.
Need more than that.
shut the fuck up.
It's the difference between people
the
that are
fuck is
like
this guy?
part of that community versus people who are trying to whatever enforce
Yeah.
laws or whatever.
I never even went up, like, as far as things changing, I never even went up to the front to see, like, any of the stunt show or whatever.
I
But
don't even know if there was one.
well, there
I don't
clearly
think-
was. I saw footage of people doing burnouts. I saw I followed a burnout 30 miles north to Clayton or something. But
That was Steve.
Yeah, it's unofficial.
but yeah, people were up there doing stuff, and I never made my way up there. But seeing the footage afterwards, it's
Well,
still.
I was telling Cody at lunch dinner a while ago. We went and rode, and we rode backwards and got some photos and some video, and the video's sick. It's straight up badass.
I'm ready
But
to see that. It's gonna be.
I'm like I said, it's part of that 2 hours of footage I got to try to put together into this one video to kind of encapsulate what it is.
Yeah.
The worst thing about doing all those videos is like when you start putting them together, you realize like, fuck, there's like context missing right here. Like how do I put that context back into this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I don't know if maybe when Sax's video came out, I was like, okay, I got to try harder on the next one.
Yeah, he did a very good job this year for sure.
Yeah.
Also, it's
But-
funny when we rolled out for all that. There was like probably 3 or 4 troopers up front.
Yeah, they had somebody hemmed up.
We just got around the corner and bye. Yeah, gone.
It was fun though. I mean, that's.
You know they could hear it. Like,
But yeah, other than that, man, the camp out, like I said, every year, I think at this point it's just a staple. It's a, you know, it happens. You show up, you know, be a part of it.
Yep.
You know, you need something.
Make it what you want it to be for yourself and
I
for
gotta pee
others.
so bad right now already.
go on, get.
You're gonna talk.
Yeah, I like seeing how people. I like seeing people figure out how to do it too. People that have gone from their first time to the second and third time, and you really need to bring a call. Or if you're coming from, I like seeing people that have linked up with other people that are bringing a car and some cooking gear and stuff like that. Whether it's a, hey, I'll throw you $20 towards groceries ahead of time so you can bring a little bit. I just eat with you guys, but just the camaraderie and the cooking,
Oh,
the
yeah.
sharing of food.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah.
I don't know. That's kind of a hokey dokey thing to bring up, but it really is like you're gonna get taken care of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't
Yeah.
have to really bring a bunch of money for food or even really stress about it as far as that goes. You know, obviously you can do the dollar store thing and all that, but I feel like every year that's one. Hey, I'm coming in on a bike. How am I gonna eat? How's
Right.
that?
Right.
And there was always, I don't know. It just seems like more and more people kind of have more and more people cook.
Agreed.
Have it going
Yeah.
set up.
We even
Yeah.
had that dilemma really, I don't know, since 3. We've either had food trucks or big camp packs or whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm saying
It's-
even if the food truck wasn't there, like
Right.
even if you didn't want to go to the food truck,
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
you could spend what you would spend on a food truck for one sitting, you could probably throw somebody's way towards groceries
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and eat with those dudes for 2 or 3 days.
We
you know?
always bring way too
agree.
much,
Yeah.
man. We
And that's the spirit of people bringing,
Yeah.
you know, bringing extra, knowing they're not going to bring it back, and we've
Right,
got this
right.
and that, whether it's brisket or whatever you serve. So
Yeah, I've said it 100 times, but you know, anybody that needs anything, you know, my wife usually drives up or whatever. You know, anybody needs anything, you know, don't be hesitant to ask. We got plenty of beer, we got plenty of food.
Yeah, we
if
brought-
you need to take the truck to go to town, you know, whatever, you know.
Same thing
There's
with-
a lot of camaraderie out there, and just people. You know, they know, or us knowing how it is on the road. If you need something, like if you actually need a vehicle or something for some reason, you know, there's people out there that'll help you out.
Yeah.
we brought a cooler specifically, an extra one, empty, just for
Yeah.
somebody that might need
Yeah, that's
it.
a good idea too.
And before we even got to the campsite, Matt from Tennessee,
Yeah.
he was like, "Hey, if you're going to the dollar store, will you grab me a cooler?" And I said, "Dude, I already got one for you. How about
Got
that?"
you, homie.
Yeah, and he used it all weekend and
Yeah.
brought it back empty at the end of the weekend before he took off. And you know, that was a dude that rode down on a bike, and
Yeah,
I don't know, just
yeah.
that seeing people do it right. Because the first time I think there's, you know, this year bringing somebody that had never been, there's always this nervousness before you go about what to expect. Once you go, It's like, oh shit, I got this.
Yeah.
But to see people come
Familiar.
like Mark Collier, you know what I mean? People that are doing their all but the first one or two or whatever, you know. And he may have a perfect tennis, but you know what I mean? Seeing people that have done it multiple times out and how they just keep perfecting their little tent scene,
Right.
their whatever. It's sick, dude. I love it.
And everything that you're describing, I find that to be the thing that maybe brings everybody back in a sense, right? They have the experience, and they don't feel like an outsider because they've put themselves out there, and it's reciprocated, and it's, I mean, how do you beat that? It's to go somewhere and have an experience and feel welcomed and to truly get enjoyment out of it, not to mention to kick off like your year. It's tough
Probably
to beat.
give
It really
a shout
is.
out to Mark's old lady for dumping out them heavies every year. Every year.
Back to back. Back to
3 years in a
to
row,
back.
baby. Keeping it
Three
alive.
peat.
Yeah. And she never, to her credit, I've never really seen her do that at like an event. It's not like she's one of like, oh, it's hard for her to just keep a shirt on. No, she's not. Yeah, she's not that. She's
Put
not
them up.
that
We've
chick.
seen them.
Boy, she gets into it when it comes to winning some parts, or as far as like hyping up the stage area. So,
Oh, yeah.
Cheers to you, Jessica. Cheers to you, Mark.
Thank you for your service.
Like shake her daddy's hand.
Still got the other chick too, the one that you took a picture with last year. Got to give her a shout out too. She's a two-peter.
Yeah.
Benny the Squirrel's sister, or whatever. His name's something the Squirrel, right? What's the guy that got the haircut?
Yeah, he got shaved, right?
Yeah. I was too drunk to even remember that. I had to catch it on a story the next day.
It was good.
I blacked out at that point.
Yeah,
So-
they got him good.
Somebody took a picture of him at like work the next week.
I think he said he rocked it for about a week or
Yeah,
so.
is he like a machinist or something
yeah.
too? He's running a machine. He's just like no eyebrows.
he said he got a few head shakes. He got a bunch of laughs.
Had a good weekend, didn't we?
And he had a couple like, what the fuck happened? But I think he left it about a week before I think he took it all off.
Yeah.
I ain't mad at that. That's what's
it.
up.
But yeah, his sister has some great New
Sleepers.
York, some great Oklahoma boobs. Little Chappelle show called out.
They're in Oklahoma,
Well, they were in Oklahoma that weekend.
but no, it's
It's the first dog we've had on the pod, huh?
big enough to be on the pod. We need to get him a microphone.
Come on, boy.
You want to talk?
Rad.
Slobber on that mic.
Yeah, it's
What'd you say his trick is? He'll bark if you say the N word. He starts going nuts.
oh shit, that was a good one.
Perfect. Jay's been wanting a shop dog forever. Here we go.
Oh man,
Then you
yeah,
got one.
one day. I'm old and gray.
I
But
loved
yeah.
you in the Sandlot.
Yeah. yeah.
Yeah.
So, I got my first tattoo.
Yeah, I forgot about
You
that.
did get a tattoo. You and Trey.
Did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Trey was
Pretty
rolling.
much a
Trey was
gangster
rolling
guy.
around like he was.
Pretty much call me Tatted
10
Boy
foot tall.
Cody.
Yeah. Are you hashtagging all your Instagram pictures now with tatted, inked up?
Inked model.
Yeah.
There's
Wow.
this point at Texas Hill where you were sitting on the edge of that fence, like in the back, and you just had your leg up like this.
He's lifting his
Just
pant up.
Your FL pant, and your tat on his leg. I was like, this guy's hard.
This guy.
Got them sock tats.
Was it you I was talking to the other day? Just well, I was no, yeah, it was at Texas Hills. I was saying, well, just every event I go to now, I'll just do my leg
You're
up,
gonna
just
do a sleeve on event tat.
event
tent
tats,
bangers.
just my whole leg.
Full leg sleeve, just like in every event he goes to for the rest of his life.
Just a bunch of
That's a
little,
good
little
bit,
slaps.
dude.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
That'd be a good
It's
bit.
not bad. Sticker bangers
His legs in like a Chipotle bag.
for sure.
I woke up the next morning, I was like, what the fuck? Did you really do that?
Does that say babes right
Was-
now?
Was there a morning that you didn't wake up saying what the fuck happened that night?
No, probably not.
You could get that thing lasered off if you wanted to.
Yeah.
No, it's always going to be there. Little marks.
You did it?
You're
Scott
gonna
did
have
it?
to date
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You're gonna have to date it.
we're all jumping on the stage. You know that stage is like a damn wrestling match, a wrestling ring. So it's like when you walk around, it's bouncy and stuff. He's over there trying to focus. He's drunk as hell and shit.
Yeah, it's probably crooked.
No, that was cool though. Yeah, I was surprised you actually went up there to do that.
I don't think
We've been talking about you doing a tattoo for a minute.
I know.
I couldn't believe it. Trey, I wasn't so I could whatever.
Trey's young.
Cody was the one where I was like, wait, what?
I was
I
drunk.
was like, yeah. Then there was a little bit. I was like, well, I guess we'll go fuck ourselves on the trip. Like, how many times have we been on the trip where Cody, let's get you a tattoo?
He wasn't drunk
and he's
enough.
always held so
and it was
steadfast.
convenient.
Yeah.
It was literally like 100 steps away. So he's like, "Yeah, I'll do it."
Well, I don't think
free.
many people were volunteering. Like, because
I think you
I'm
were
sure
kinda
everybody in the crowd
voluntold
had a
anyways.
freaking tattoo. So I was like, fuck it. I'm
People
drunk.
are always trying to get free tattoos.
Oh,
dude.
yeah. But
that's
but
right.
he said anybody that doesn't have,
have
a
a
tattoo.
tattoo, yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't have a tattoo in your 30s, that was a choice, 100%, not to
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Not like, I just never came around, just never was in the.
Well, I was just too cheap to pay for them. So it was free.
You got a free one at the camp out, along with hepatitis H. Probably.
Yeah, for sure. Ain't got no mold on it yet. We're good.
Oh man. So you and Steve Chamberlain got a little FL
Look at that, he's
slap.
grinding you, motherfucker.
Yeah. His FL, right?
Which one is yours?
It says FLC with a damn
Yeah.
lightning bolt deal.
Man,
Okay, it's not as bad as I thought it was.
Oh, that's good.
good work, Wheelo.
He's like, "Where do you want it?" On my arm.
That shit on
Right
my
here.
cheek.
Right here. Yeah.
Put it on my neck. Right
Left
here.
cheek. Not my ass.
That's that young kid shit, though, right? Get all their stuff in only the
Visible
heavily
spots.
visible
Open
areas.
spot.
Like,
Yeah.
come on, bro.
No, I wasn't doing that.
Any tattoo artist worth their salt will give them a hell no.
All right.
We don't go to that until
Should've put it on
you've
my
earned
knuckles.
that type thing.
Yeah.
Right.
When I was thinking about doing gloves, it was like, God damn it, I have to because they match.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't think so. Anyway, now the camp out was great. It was fun. I'm glad
For sure.
it happened. Man, it was stressful coming up to it, man. Like because like every year you got the weather shit, and the weather is not an issue. The camp out, it is what it is. But the pre-party and then the strokers thing, I was worried about the weather because when you're getting these bars to kind of like prepare for the like camp out crowd, and then the weather happens and it doesn't happen, it makes it a little harder next year to convince them that you do have a crowd coming. You know what I mean?
Was it not a good turnout, strokers?
No, it was wet.
Yeah,
it was
strokers
raining like a
was
motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I mean, it didn't rain, but it was
Tuesday
like,
was good.
Tuesday was good.
Tuesday
Yeah.
I
was
thought
really
most
good.
people Ubered to strokers. No,
Oh, I mean, a lot of people came up, but
Yeah.
it was just one of
not
those.
like the year before.
Oh no, like
Yeah.
man, that first year that like when Jeremy, Lucky Strike, and Ben and everybody was there, and we were at Reno's. That was a wild year.
Yeah, it was.
That was a wild year, but
A lot more people passing through town that year as well. I don't know
Yeah.
for whatever. Like some of the people that were actually in town that specifically came for the Wednesday had essentially passed camp, right, to come into
Yeah.
Dallas to hang out for
Oh,
those
yeah.
couple days, then to go back out. There wasn't. I don't know if it's the Texas, Louisiana, that type of thing, like Southern Texas type. It didn't feel as though there was near as many people like passing through.
we
North
didn't really
Texas
have a
at that
huge
point.
presence of like Houston.
South
I feel like they're
Texas.
seeing kind of. I mean, I might be overstepping, but I feel like a lot of the guys that were kind of helping put that stuff together kind of dissipated and went in different places in life. You know.
Well, I think Adam's out in Terralingua. ain't
Adam's
he?
Terralingua.
And then,
That dude Don that
Don.
used to run, he's like in Europe or some shit now, I believe.
I think he may
shit.
be on vacation, right?
I thought he moved out there for work.
I think he did move full time.
Okay.
And then the other original dude they started
Chad-
that crew with
Chad,
is out.
Yeah, he's full.
You got your cousin down there that's still going hard.
No, I think he's taking a step
For real?
back because I think they may have, again, I don't really know, but I feel like somebody else may be running that performance bagger page.
Of Houston or something like that.
But they did just have an event somewhere, like
Yeah.
a weekend, maybe Memorial Day. I think they did like a Lake Livingston ride or something.
Oh yeah, I see.
It looked cool. It looked like they had a bunch
Yeah.
of bikes. So
There's actually a couple little cool bars down in that area. I can't remember
yeah.
the name of them.
But we
I've
stopped
looked
at
at them
one
before
for
though.
going down there for a bike night or one of their block parties or something. Yeah, I mean, it's a Piney Woods kind of bar.
Yeah,
And it was sick.
Yeah, like a nice outdoor area.
Yeah.
Like shaded, you know. It looked cool. But
I think specifically somebody will put it. It was like, I don't want to say dirty dogs, but something like that.
yeah.
Like
It's called Long Shots, dude.
Catered to bikes. You know, it was a biker bar.
Yeah.
It was badass.
Well, Campout, like I said, another successful year in the books. Really, it's impossible to have an unsuccessful year, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So if you didn't make it this year, understand. But let me ask you guys this. Do you think something like this should go on forever, or should it have a shelf life?
Depends on how you want to look at it. If camping, traveling, kind of the baseline gathering is the purpose, I have no issue with indefinite camp, right? If the expectation from the masses or the internet or whoever you want to say we're appeasing is to grow year over year, to give me more free shit year over year, to do more for me because I decided to ride my motorcycle, that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I feel as though the partners that have been a part of this, especially now for the last couple of years with stage giveaways and things like that, have done more than enough to reward you in a way that, you know, a lot of places just simply don't, right?
Yeah.
And if that's why you're coming, then just don't come. But if it is about, hey, we want to do a great trip, see people that we love to see, and really have like the camaraderie that Campout truly is, I'll do that forever.
Yeah, same.
If Instagram crashed tonight and we only had whose number we had on our phone, would we still do it, you know, next year? Late April, early May, we're doing, like, I'm in.
I say
You know what I
100%.
mean? If it goes back to 18 people, you know, a handful more that aren't here, and wives and girlfriends kind of thing, I'm in.
Yeah, me too.
Believe me, I'll still have fun.
Oh, yeah.
dude,
We had fun the first time. So
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, if everything, like you said, was to crash or whatever, and it was the same people, even if the event, I mean, say for some weird reason, you know, people get tired of coming and it slowly dwindles down or whatever. I mean, like I said, as long as this group is still in, I'm fucking in. You know, I we can go back to, like you said, Campout 1.
Well, we're camping inside the circle.
We're going back by the fire, baby.
Because look, I mean, so many of us, we kind of camped right by each other anyway. So
Right.
Still if everybody else wasn't there, that's not what I want to happen.
No.
Right.
Keep coming.
No,
in perpetuity. Be part of it.
Right.
But if everybody didn't, we're still kind of that same nuclear, you know, mat and just. There's a handful of us that were right there, and same thing. We'd move that motherfucker right back in there where we're just south of that pit.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I had did the podcast with Steve right afterwards, and because he had stayed at the house, and we were kind of talking about that. And I was like, I don't know, man. I wonder, like, is there like, do you put like do you do that forever, or like how we talk about Giddy Up, how we remember what it was, and like it's like a fond memory. It's almost like the retire while you're on top versus fading off. You know what I mean?
I feel like there's some work that goes into it, you know, but don't, you know, if it gets to where it's too big of a headache, maybe that's where you dial back or something.
Yeah, so
you know?
like this year was a lot of work, but that's the most I'm ever gonna put into it work wise. Other than what we do with the podcast, and then a lot, like when I go to down south, it's kind of like a, you know, obviously I want to go hang out with Craig, but it's also like, hey, you know, he supports our camp. I'm gonna go support his kind of stuff. You know, I do want people to come, but at the same time, like it is a lot of fucking work. It's a lot. It's a lot of like anxiety, to be honest with you. I hate saying that on a motorcycle podcast. It sounds kind of gay, but there's a demonetization right there. but yeah, it just gets to a point where you have all this stuff, you know, like you're spending $4,000 on T-shirts hoping to break even. You know what I mean? Hoping like, oh shit, I went heavy on the big sizes this year and all the skinny motherfuckers showed up. You know what I mean? It's like it's always vice versa, right?
Yeah, right.
And it's you know, it's those kind of things that like get a little overwhelming. But then it's like it's awesome whenever I see a video of somebody in like North Carolina and they got a Fast Life Campout shirt on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's fucking cool as hell.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or at Sturgis somewhere or whatever, you know?
And I don't think you can expect to sell every shirt you bring every year. You know, of course you want to sell the majority of them, but you know, it just is what it is sometimes. You know.
Yeah, and I guess at some point there it's the catch point of if is it a camp out or an event, and I would say that's like the difference in Giddy Up. Well, Giddy Up's an event, so you take away the event, there's nothing there.
Right.
This is a fucking camp out.
Yeah.
So we've done the giveaways and we've done some of this bike show stuff to kind of spruce it up and whatever. But ultimately, it's for people there to have something to interact over, to have something whatever. Because for sure, dude, if we wanted to be lazy or whatever, it could be just a fucking camp out.
It was just a camp out for a long
Show
time.
the fuck up, and we'll talk, I guess, if you catch us by the thing. But there's no, you know what I mean?
Right,
We're not
right.
throwing you a bone, and that, I don't want that to sound cuntish, but it's one of those things where we can take all the shit that is a headache, we can take it away, and like I said, ultimately, because we don't give a fuck if you're there or not, kind of thing. We're gonna hang out and have fun regardless, and it can always go back to that.
Yeah.
And there's still a draw in that. There will still be people that show up.
Oh yeah. Because
camp
I
and
would say
hang
the
out.
majority of them are not coming for that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Right.
It's just icing on the cake.
It
Yeah.
is.
Right.
So
Right. It's nice
We've
for
done a lot of stuff to essentially entertain people. If you want to take that stuff away, the entertainment aspect of it, and hey, we're now back to conversations are the entertainment,
Back
the
to the
interactions
basics
are the
of love,
entertainment,
baby.
riding's the entertainment. We did that for the first 3 years, and maybe 4, and it was still a wonderful, wonderful experience. These last couple of years, we've juiced it up, and people have dug it, and people have had some other things to say about it as well. It's going to be what it's going to be. Whatever we decide that to be, you know, it's our event, and we've made it happen for us and for you all. And you either come or you don't. Mm-hmm. That's what it ends up being.
Yeah. It is what it is.
Fucking right. All right, big trip.
Next topic.
Big trip.
Next. Big trip, dude. All right, so as we said before early in this podcast, this year we are wrapping up 48 states. Now,
Hell yeah.
for everybody out there listening, we're talking about 48 states that we individually have all crossed those state lines together as a group, as a like a big group.
Leaving from together.
Yeah. Leaving from.
leaving from Dallas.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, man. It's a bittersweet feeling because I feel like it was so simple to always find the next destination. Because we'd usually be on a trip and be like, oh, you know what we should do next year? Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
We're in Sturgis. We should do next year? We got to go to Maine, brother. You know what I mean? So it's like it's always been easy. This year, what do you think about the Midwest? You're from it. Like, you're deep from it in a sense. But I don't want to say it's like it doesn't have the highlights of the Pacific Northwest or the East Coast, New York, Boston, you know, all that. What are you looking for in this trip? What are you most excited for? You know what I mean? Y'all have an idea?
I would point that to you all
All right.
because being from there, I think that I'm more curious on y'all's perspective.
I really think northern Minnesota, Wisconsin, around the Great Lakes is going to be. You've done it.
I haven't done it around the lakes, no.
Well, you went up to like Mackinac and stuff, right?
No. The furthest north I've been is Muskegon.
Okay. Okay.
And the
Is
furthest on the other side.
West Central.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the furthest on the other side is like I drove up to like Appleton and Green Bay area.
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
So I've never been to Minnesota at all.
I don't know. I get a vibe off of these small town like small town vibe, like going
Yeah.
up north in the woods,
Yes.
and I don't know. I feel like we're gonna fuck up some small towns. Like, we're gonna have a good time, you know. We're gonna find a good time, you know what I'm saying? Or we're just gonna have a good time.
Bring it, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna bring a good time, you know. And I really, through all the years, like you said, the big events are fucking fun too, but there's nothing funner than pulling into like a little podunk town and finding that little local shithole bar and just having a good night.
Chili's.
Shutting that bitch down.
We roll in.
Not Chili's.
We roll in. The staff's like, oh shit, we got
we have customers.
Maybe they're texting someone, hey, you may want to come up here. We got a bunch of people up here.
There's 5 people in the bar. I don't know. I just feel like there's going to be some sleepers up there.
Oh yeah, dude, it's bar. I've been talking about the bar scene in the Midwest for so long. It's us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I told you guys earlier when I went on the trip, we did the pre-podcast for the Campout. I was talking about how I did the Iowa trip to do podcasts.
Yeah.
And fell in love with Kansas City and all that stuff, all that vibe. So I'm stoked about this trip. People had me believing that this was the flattest part on earth, that there was nothing. And I'm driving through all this. And I'm like, it's rolling hills. It's beautiful. And every town you come into has like a working class vibe. So the bars are cheap enough to where you can go have a good time and not, have to take a loan out and shit like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The other, maybe not so much about the land itself or the places we're going. I think it's going to have the shortest days on this trip.
It's going to be more enjoyable.
It will be enjoyable for sure. I think that the main catalyst, especially if you're talking the northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, northern Michigan, the keys are going to be, you better like trees, water, small towns, like that. Like that's going to be the vibe, right?
Yeah.
Because that is it. And
are we going to see a moose?
Nah, I don't think we're going to be far enough. That's the thing. Like, so here's.
It's not as far north
the thing
as
is,
like
even though that
where we were in Post Falls or whatever.
No, exactly.
Right,
You're going to see some
but-
deer, plenty, right?
Yeah.
You might see some elk, that type of thing. But moose, you keep on going north, right? But
Can't go into Canada.
to me, like, although I'm from Minneapolis, it's this space that we're going to, because we're going far northern Minnesota, Duluth and north, right? Up and around the Great Lakes. And that's, even though I'm from the state, it's almost like saying, we're coming in and we're passing through, I don't know, El Paso. Like, I don't know the space, right? So it's going to be enjoyable for me, too. Like, my closest family will be hundreds of miles away. So it's not like, hey, let's swing through mom's.
Yeah.
It's not that type of situation. This is where people go to either kind of disappear or lake homes is what you're looking at up there.
Yeah.
It depends on the state. Where I'm from, they call them cabins. Northern Michigan, it's full on cottages. Yeah, it's weird.
Cottages is a Canadian thing too.
Yeah,
Everybody
it's
has
a
cottage.
terminology
I was like-
thing.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you mean lake house?
Yeah, it's second homes is what it is. And
Oh, you mean you're rich?
right?
Yeah.
But it's funny
Yeah.
because you have the
You got 2 bedrooms.
That's
you have the
bigger than my
folks-
house.
Almost snuck it by me with the cottage thing. Nice try.
But you have the
You
folks
rich
up there that'll
motherfucker.
have that are fancy, well-to-do on the weekends, right? But when they disappear, it's the people that actually live there, and it's just like other small towns. Like, it's a different breed of people. You talk about the hard accents and watch the movie Fargo one time, that type of thing, and the way they depict it. Those are the people you're going to come across, and.
Nice.
And it's a different way of life up there.
But that's also what-
it's beautiful everywhere. It certainly is.
Oh, me and Jacob throw somebody in a wood chipper.
These some big,
that's like
big
our-
burly motherfuckers drinking nothing
like
but
our-
milk and eating mashed potatoes. Like, they
Well,
might
not
throw
one-
you
not-
in there.
Yeah.
We're not going to throw one in there.
There's going to be suspenders and flannels all
we're-
day.
we're-
Lumberjacks.
We're going to catch somebody that deserves it.
But like salt of the earth type people as well.
Yeah,
And that's
that's what I
the
think.
best part about it is these are folks that so long as you do them right, they're going to do you more than right?
Yeah.
That type of thing. And so it will be a very enjoyable experience, guaranteed.
So what's the day we're leaving? The 6th? Is that what day we're leaving?
Yeah, Thursday.
That's a Thursday evening after work.
So
pretty much everybody after work.
So basically everybody here is working or whatnot, and we're leaving Thursday, and we're headed up to Oklahoma City. So it's Thursday. Oklahoma City does their T-Bar Thursdays, right? And so we'll be attending that, and if people want to come out and party with us,
Is that at the
pump?
At the pump.
Yep. I remember that spot.
We had fun at the pump once.
Yeah, bro. It was
Jam,
a good
pump
time.
it up.
Is that the one with the outside fire pits?
Yeah.
And the
We talked
old
a
gas station
bunch of
sign.
shit. Yeah.
That's what I remember about is the old gas station sign.
Yep.
That's cool looking.
They had like the plastic window, like walls for the other inside if it was cold.
Yeah.
That's Polar Ride 2, baby. The one that
was.
people didn't go to.
Okay, see.
Anyway, so that's day one, or I mean, technically it's like 0.5 because
Yeah.
we're just
It's
ripping
just
up there
out.
to kind
It's a
of,
jump start.
Yep.
just kind of get us out there and whatnot. And then the next day we're kind of ripping up and we're going to cut through Kansas City, probably have lunch in Kansas City, and then just run up straight north to Sioux Falls, right? Is that the plan?
Mm-hmm.
So I've never been to Sioux Falls. I'm actually pretty excited about going there.
Keep it the fuck down over there
Hey.
with your fucking coughs.
Put them in the wood chipper.
Yeah, dude. Before you end up in a wood chipper, motherfucker.
But so for you guys listening, we had a long meeting as we do for every trip that we do, and we're trying to figure out how to chip off these. See, I'm saying chip now.
There you go.
Knock off these states that we haven't ridden together in, and one of them being North Dakota. North Dakota was kind of like the oddball off the. It was like completely out of the way because otherwise we would have probably scooted over to more inland and rode up through Missouri, Iowa, and Minnesota and not have to be all the way on the west side of these states up and then completely over Minnesota. You know what I mean? But like I said, we're trying to knock off the rest of the states this year. And as you heard earlier, we have 2 trips. One's in September, one's now. And the September one is literally to knock off 3 states that are just stragglers. Florida, South Carolina,
Well, what a
and
way
West Virginia.
what a way to finish the whole thing. Where if it's only 3 states, we're gonna, that's the place where we're staying, South Carolina, where we're really gonna. That'll be more us hanging out
Yeah.
than
Recapping, I
riding
feel like.
and seeing
Yeah.
than everything we've done. Like, what a way to hint where because just the stories and the we're gonna ride, we're gonna put down some miles for sure, but.
What better way to put bow on this? Though?
There's gonna. I mean, how many days are we gonna have on that one? We're in the same place. Like,
It's like there's
A few, yeah.
we've
Yeah.
had like 2. Like we had 2 on the East Coast trip. Like other than that,
2 on the East Coast trip,
Literally.
0 on the Northeast.
yeah. So,
Like it'll be nice to be able to have that relaxation a little bit, but also
another
to be
word,
able
like
to
you
kind
said,
of
that feels fellowship. But it's gonna be a homies trip.
We're gonna sit around and sing Kumbaya.
I will. And how great will it feel? Honestly,
Yeah,
like here's the thing: is you can act like this stuff doesn't mean anything to you, or it doesn't fill you up, or it doesn't like give you some fellowship or camaraderie or whatever. You can bullshit all you want, but you're a human being. You got feelings.
Yeah.
You understand that. Even if you put in a hard exterior out there, you're still fucking ooey gooey inside. So like, I understand like there's a time like a man needs to be a man type thing, right?
Yeah.
But there's also a very like special connection with men accepting one another into the like and like letting the guards down and just we're just us. Like we are friends. We love each other and we're not afraid to fucking say it and we're not afraid to like feel it.
we
and
shit
it's
ourselves in front of
emotional.
each other.
And like this is a major accomplishment for us and could care less if anybody else
Yeah.
even knows about it. But for us 8 dudes, for the rest of our life, we'll be able to talk about these experiences together.
The last 4
and
years.
you cannot
So
trade that for nothing.
there's a caveat to this because you're talking about the 48 states, and essentially it's taken us 4 years or 5 years. I don't know what the math.
It is 4.
It's our 5th trip, but our
Since
4th year.
2019.
Correct.
So now, obviously, we could have, if the whole goal was just to do the 48 states, we could have like made a trip just about chipping states off,
Yeah.
right? But we wanted to enjoy as much of the time that we had available to take off and make the most of each year that we did these trips in these areas that we went to. And I feel like we have, and that's helped build this community about the friends that we know all over the country. It's done a lot for me and my brand and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's so much better to drag it. I've enjoyed the fact that we drug it out for 4 years rather than just saying, hey, you know what we should do? We should just do all 48 states.
And just blasting through the states and all that. Yeah.
The original goal was
it wasn't really
it was
to
never
that.
to see the states. The original goal was to see the country.
Yeah.
And we decided the best way to do that is in blocks, and you knock off blocks at a time. It was never about states. It was never about a bragging thing.
Yeah.
It's how do we see the country? How do we do some of these, riding, not necessarily coast to coast like that, but how do we go to each coast? And the stuff you've talked about with your club, and like I said, it grew from all of a sudden to like, fuck, dude, we're going to do all 48 states. Like,
and I feel like closer it got to like the third trip or so, I feel like that's when we maybe just started talking about it. Like, damn, we're getting close to knocking off 48. Like,
filling in one
are
of
we
those
gonna do this together?
Filling in
Like,
one of those maps where all of a sudden everything we've crossed.
Yeah. Everybody's like,
fuck, dude, we only got like 13 more or whatever.
I think
Like,
that
not a lot.
conversation really came up on the Northeast trip because we hit so many
agree.
states on Northeast.
I agree.
And then
because we were still chasing Forrest Gump benchmarks at that point.
Yeah, remember
that
that.
was really our underlying premise of
Right.
these trips. We're like, well, we done this one, so let's do that one. We done that one, so let's do this one.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you're right. On the Northeast trip, we kind of had an aha moment where like, yo, we're not too far away from like actually doing this all. Like Forrest Gump aside, like this is still a fun side activity for us, but now this is actually an achievable objective for all of us. So let's let's put our minds. Do we really want to do this? Yeah, let's do this. Like what else are we gonna do? Absolutely, let's do this. So that's why
we're still going to be
like
riding
it's-
motorcycles. We're still going to be having fun. Why not do it and knock off together? With all 8 of us.
Speaking of trips, I think it was Corey that Enemy of GLaDOS or whatever from Colorado. I think he did it recently, Utah trip. Somebody did one, and they did the Forrest Gump hill like before they did Zion. Dude, it hit me in the feels big time.
Yeah.
Just that day was fun, and sometimes I'm kind of
hanging out with Hans last weekend.
Yeah.
That 2 weekends
That was
ago.
unexpected. When
Hanging out with him,
and
just remembering the last time we all kind of hung out together was at the San Juan Inn, and that was, man, for everybody listening, like to try to encapsulate how amazing it feels to be on the road. That night is one of those like nights where it's like we're not at a bar, we're not at a fucking we're making our own entertainment at a hotel on a little rooftop patio, 2 stories.
Yeah.
And we're just drinking whiskey and whatever they had at the gas station.
Yeah.
And dude, like to me, that is like I put that above any other thing. You know what I mean?
Too. Yeah.
Oh hell, that night ended with going down into the river, like the river,
and looking
bed,
at the
going
stars.
down were you one of them?
Yeah.
Like
Pissing all over their porch.
There's just, but here's the thing. There's a number of those. There's a number of those throughout these trips that are essentially, capture lightning in a bottle type evenings or moments, right?
Yeah,
and I'm not saying it's all about like it almost makes it sound like we're just doing a nationwide fucking pub crawl or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's not all we're doing. Is we're not just chasing bars or chasing alcohol everywhere. But it is oftentimes how we're able to like celebrate our achievement of the day, that type of thing. It's hard to not enjoy a nice cold beer after getting off a 600-mile rip. It's tough to beat that, right?
It's like you were at work all day. Now you want to have fun,
Right.
yeah,
I mean, not that it wasn't fun riding, but now you're like, fuck it. I'm now the days now off work is time. You know what I mean?
But we've also had amazing ride days, right? So for every drinking experience, there's also these riding experiences that capture lightning in a bottle. Moment in time is just wow. That at that moment or at that maybe sunlight or whatever it is, just right. Or it got a little sideways, and it's like, well, I'm never gonna forget this because if you come through here, like but it's an experience that can only be had by getting out there, and that's it's the best. It is the best.
Well, one thing on the San Juan Inn, I think just the epitome of it, where we spent the night before in Amarillo, so it's really not a terrain change. That's the first time of the trip where we're in it, you know what I mean? And that hotel is so cool and unique with being kind of in the side of the canyon right there over the river, where it's the first big scene change where all of a sudden it's the biggest. As the trip goes on, you almost get not numb to it, but you're used to being in different spots.
Yeah.
That's the first time where you're not in the DFW area, or in that case, Amarillo, something that wasn't too far off it, and it slaps you in the face. And when you mix that in with not doing the traditional bar thing, or we're not in four walls. We've seen the whole country through the inside of a bar is one way you could look at it too. But this was different with sitting outside with the elements, and then the crew that went down. Fuck that! There might have been somebody else, but I went down and watched like the sunset.
Yep.
Took a few tall boys, took a few beers down there, smoked a joint, but kind of like feet in the water stuff. Just as the sun was like, just insane. But there's something about that one, like that specific stop being and you're right. As if all of them are great, you get these little ones where there's just something you'll never get that back. You can't duplicate it.
Yeah.
There's just something about it. And if you've ever traveled, everybody's had, that's done.
Okay, so let me ask you guys this:
those stops.
each trip we've done, where do you think the San Juan is of each trip that we've been on?
Top 3. Oh, you're saying what's
Like
the
vibe.
comparable
Yeah.
experience? Shit.
First trip was Silk, Colorado.
You think it was Silt?
Yeah, I think we had a good time or
It was either Silt or Big Sur.
I think it was LA.
Yeah.
When you flew in?
Big Sur was pretty
The
righteous.
ping pong thing on the
Yeah.
at the house.
Yeah, Big Sur was good too because we did have more
Yeah.
beverages.
It
But
was
that
it was
first
very much an
podcast,
experience.
in Silt, like the first road podcast we did.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty neat.
We're still
Yeah, I would
just
say
kinda
it's
like
kind of. I'd say
barely getting to know each other on the road
Yeah,
too.
that's
That,
true, yeah.
we're learning each other.
Yeah.
It's the first time we ever podcast. So we're stiffs compared to what we are now. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
So what do you think about Sturgis trip? What do you think that vibe was?
Beartooth.
Red?
Red
Red Lodge?
Red Lodge. Right
Red
right
Lodge,
before
yeah.
we rode
Yeah.
Beartooth. I think Red Lodge.
I thought y'all were talking about more like outside the bar scene stuff.
Well, just like
Was good nights,
Like what he
just-
said, like the first time we felt like we're really away, like we're on something different.
Okay, yeah.
And like
yeah.
really capture, like where I don't know if Red Lodge is it though. Maybe.
Gosh, I really have to think. You have to think through them all, right?
Yellowstone wasn't bad. I thought that was
Yellowstone
a
was a
good night.
vibe,
Yeah, we got found the Montuckies.
or was it fucking Rock Springs, brother?
Yeah,
Kenny getting in
Yeah.
a fight or whatever.
yeah. I got next.
It wasn't Rock Springs.
Yeah, Nick. What a goofy motherfucker.
We took that freaking Hank Hill looking picture
yeah. Oh yeah, I love
against a wood
I
fence.
love it.
Chattanooga, East Coast.
East Coast.
I mean, we turned it up in Chattanooga
I like a bunch of different ones on the East
or Virginia
Coast.
Beach.
Virginia Beach was more of a get crunk.
Yeah.
Chattanooga was just like us with Craig.
And that was a
I don't
first
know.
night excitement and all that.
What, was it Johnson City?
That was
Was that the one?
That was 2020.
that was our mid-year trip. we
Oh,
did.
that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
That was like
Man.
balls deep in COVID too.
Yeah. We almost had to fight our way out of a bar.
Yeah, I guess not everybody was not, but I really enjoyed Maggie Valley. That was chill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that was a vibe.
FXR Gym.
That was a
Yeah.
vibe.
Man, I don't know. I mean, there's so many of them. That's the thing. Like, how do you really? You would have to sit here, recap the whole experience, like night by night, to just remember where we went. You know where else was fun? The man, where
Not
were we?
Nashville.
No, definitely not Nashville. Nashville is undefeated against Cody Brantley.
New York City was fucking sick.
Yeah,
there's
City was-
something
yeah.
about that. It's
I'll
just-
never
that
forget that experience. Like I've got 3 New York experiences, and they're all uniquely different and amazing. And I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, you're good.
But that New York experience with you guys till 4 a.m, that was like the
Yeah.
New York I had expected to experience.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
that
saying?
That was
fun.
gnarly.
We'd already put a bunch of miles down. We were tired. I'd
Yeah.
gotten sick and waking up at Jeremy's house. So I was sick in Baltimore, and maybe it was something about just
No,
starting.
you got fucked up in Virginia Beach, and then at
Yeah.
Baltimore you were
But
sick.
then, like flu sick or
Mark's
whatever.
house.
What the
Yeah,
fuck.
yeah.
So I had a couple bad days, but there was something about maybe just feeling better. But there was something about New York, you know, because at that point you're in the thick of the fucking road trip. Like you got your clothes are dirty, like you're fucking in it. You know,
chafing.
Yeah. And there was something about that was just re-energizing, reinvigorating, whatever.
Figure out the subway
as
system.
you're coming in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the ferry was sick leading. I mean, I guess that was
Afterwards, yeah.
But getting in the city, man, on the bridges, there was just something.
It was
and then
a vibe,
the traffic
yeah.
kind of mobbing through the traffic together. It was. We hit it luckily right before, you know, a good time where it wasn't bumper to bumper, and
Still fucking sucked.
New York was fucking
Yeah,
sick.
it was
a
gnarly
badass
trying
time.
to
As
get
much as
through
I
there.
loved Boston, I told everybody that was probably one of my other than like Vermont and stuff. But dude, New York was one of those that I'll never forget.
Yeah.
They just had a Chili's in Boston. I would have been okay.
Yeah, I hate that Boston was what it
Should've got
was
some,
for us.
You should have got some pizza delivered.
Boston was
as soon
just
as
New
we got
York's
there.
hangover, basically.
Yeah.
And that sucked because Boston is an epic city in and of itself.
Well, the whole thing about that, I think what really hurt that whole couple days there in the Northeast, it was blistering hot.
Yeah, it was a heat
was
wave.
hot. And
It's different
I
out
hate
there.
saying that being from Texas, but it was freaking
It's
hot.
a different type of hot, dude. It's a
Yeah.
dry hot.
That doesn't make sense, but yeah.
Well, we met at Witch that day, and we did that little shopping thing up and down the block.
Oh yeah, I had fun that day.
We all left. I feel like Kyle left. I know I went to Fenway and I rode around Boston Commons, and I went and just rode around town for an hour, hour and a half. That was sick, dude. I loved it.
that was the night
Like,
we all
that
met
was-
up with like Joe Kidd and all the guys from Boston to
Yeah,
eat
the
at
night
that
we had
little-
dinner in Southie.
yeah.
Yeah.
But Boston's one that I want to get back to.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
loved it.
No, I like the vibe. I wish we could have.
That's gonna be our Nova Scotia trip.
There you go.
See, and I just tend to be
Band
partial, having like practically lived my whole life in big cities, right? I lean towards the off the beaten path type stuff. That's just, that's why the San Juan Inn is what it is to me. That's why it's just like, this is not something everybody sees.
Yeah.
This is not touristy. This is not something that you're just gonna happen to come across. You really have to make
Let me ask
it
you this
yours.
though: do you feel like over the since 2020, how so many of the parks have gotten kind of overran with people getting out, that you feel like, I'm not saying it still doesn't compare to a city, but like when you go to the first time we went to Monument Valley, right, versus the last time we went to Monument Valley,
It was more packed this last
there's
time.
packed.
Yeah.
And it's just a roadside attraction. You know what I mean? And it's like one of those things where it's like I feel less connected to these more, not off the beaten paths, not to go on that, but like these monuments that you want to go through, these spectacles.
Well, it's underwhelming
things you
when
must
there's
see type thing.
when there's
Yeah.
100 people there standing there taking the same picture you're trying to take. It's a little more underwhelming.
That's why I like
feel.
the lighthouse, because
I agree.
it maybe
Yeah.
wasn't the biggest lighthouse in Maine,
Yeah.
But it meant something.
meant something to us.
a
Yeah.
lot.
and there was nobody there.
All right.
I completely agree, and I do think that you're absolutely right in the fact that whether it's whatever it is, I think the same thing about Old Faithful or
Yeah,
like
that was
it's
kind of underwhelming.
anything that gets anything that gets churched up as much as those places do. It's impossible to live up to that, right? It's the whatever 8 wonders of the world or whatever it is. No matter what it is, if you go to see them, sure they're amazing.
Yeah.
But everybody said they're amazing for your whole existence. It's put on a pedestal in a sense. So
Yeah.
it's like, it was cool, but was it that cool?
I would say-
it's harder to comprehend versus the things that you kind of come upon almost by mistake or what have
Yeah.
you. Those are the ones that are very impactful.
Do you ever find it funny that on all of our trips, we've never tried to go to the Grand Canyon?
We've been there. I think
It's a
The last time we considered it.
Yeah.
It's just like,
considered
but
it.
there's also
but
there's
Zion was like such a more like, it was a better experience because you ride through it
Yeah.
rather than getting off your bike and going staring at it. Because I feel like when we saw Horseshoe Bend, oh, there's Grand Canyon right there, buddy.
yeah.
That was actually gave you more perspective, in my opinion.
It's a grand enough a canyon for me.
Yeah, I mean that's something I'd still like to see. Don't get me wrong, but like you said, I do enjoy the the ones that you can actually ride through,
Yeah.
instead of parking in a parking lot and walking down a mile to it or something, you know.
Yeah.
But
Going to get Grand Canyon ice cream at the Grand Canyon Subway or some shit like it's just
true.
It's too marketed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Damn bait.
I don't know.
Some damn bait.
Is that a goddamn?
Well, I don't know. On this trip, I would say that there are a lot of Midwest gyms I think that we're going to find. Like, it's going to be a lot. We're still it's still in a busier part of the country, but it's like we're going to smaller parts of it.
Yeah.
Chicago probably being the biggest of it all.
Yeah.
But also, it's kind of cool that we're going to be able to ride 66 from Chicago to St. Louis. I think St. Louis is a pretty rad town, and Kyle being from there, and with us having so many friends there, I think that's the other thing about this trip is that everywhere we're going, we know a lot of people. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Campout country.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like
Lots
everywhere
of
we go, we're going to
attendees
be
are from there.
around. We're going to have a lot. It's like the East Coast trip. We always had
Yep.
Right.
a couple of people with us that were coming along. Dave is supposed to be coming up to Oshkosh or what? Not Oshkosh.
Duluth.
To meet up with us.
Fuck
Oh,
you.
Trading pants.
There you go. Continue the clothing humor.
But that and then the Clean Moto guys want to hang out, and while we're coming through Illinois, we'll definitely be kicking it with some of the homies in St. Louis like Kyle and yeah, all the guys. So I mean,
I need to reach out to Tony Love, but I hope we
Tony
get-
Love said he wants to know the date, and he'll take his ass to Duluth
the date?
because he
Where's he
lives
at?
he lives in the Twin Cities, so he's
really?
like where my family would be, right? So, but it's up there in relation to where they are.
Duluth's
and we're
gotta
going to
be
be
a
there in the
fucking
middle
party,
of
dude.
It's like the
in the middle of the week, I think, if I remember
if
correctly.
you could
but
remember
whatever
one
it is.
person from each
Yeah,
state. Tony's Tony. Like if I'm in Minnesota, I gotta see Tony. Like the
yeah, Tony loves this shit.
Joe Kid, maybe
He
the
had a
guy from
great time with
California.
most of the morning.
You know,
Bro, you ain't lying. Tony Love drank me out of house and home that day. That motherfucker got his $10 worth. Golly.
He's the guy getting cut
He
off
said,
at
"Shouldn't have
CC's.
told me that."
He's
9 bottles.
He's James in California at the fancy breakfast
Bro,
spot.
he put me to shame. I tell you
Dropping
that.
bottles on the floor.
projectile vomiting into the table.
Did he really?
I ain't mad at him. Though.
This guy,
Oh no,
Oh,
it
you did?
went down the wrong tube.
you don't remember that?
I said, "What?"
When he did the bloop. You remember this, right?
That was
it was
like,
a
all right,
baby,
we're
it was like
done.
a baby drinking formula, and it was just one of those, he was laughing or something, and just
Breathed
coughed
it in
or something.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it was just like a block,
Oh,
and I absolutely lost. No way.
Just
hit
another
somebody,
memory,
right?
man. That was Venice.
Yeah.
Tony was rapping the Biggie at the camp.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Oh,
rapping
he's good.
everything,
in
bro.
that accent too. If you don't know, now you know.
He's got the long O for sure.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna catch a lot more of that when we're
Ready.
up north.
Oh man.
No, I'm looking forward to just same thing that you were saying, the Midwest just being more of a. I think I'm looking forward to seeing people.
Yeah.
That we know, and if that's a trade off I'm willing to do. No, I'm not shitting on it, but yeah, if it's one, it's hard to compete with some of the far eastern, just beautiful.
Yeah.
Once you get like north of Virginia, it's hard to compete with obviously the West Coast going up like the one and everything. So if we give up a little bit of that, I know we're gonna get some of it back, but if we give up a little bit and the concession is meeting up with people that we know and the hospitality and the love and the camaraderie, whatever the fuck, the hangs, sign me up.
I'm almost glad we saved it for last because, we got all the hype stuff out of the way, I guess. And I think, yeah, this will be
Really
like
good.
a more,
Before, but
this will be,
Take it
yeah,
really just
laid back, enjoyable ride and good times with meeting up with
It's a celebration parade after the
It's
championship.
a celebration, bitches.
Show Charlotte Murphy a tip.
I think the one thing you guys will probably take away or find out is because I just love riding by water and
Yeah.
and like in canyons and stuff like that. you may get just sick of water by the end of it because there's just so
That much? Really?
up there, and it's all fresh water, right? You're going to see the biggest fresh water you've ever seen in your whole life,
Yeah.
and that's something. It's something to be said, but it's
Well, one thing
it's everywhere for
one
sure.
thing we've never done as a group is done like a roadside wild
Dip.
hogs type swim. It may be hot
Bucket
enough.
naked,
We'll have
boy.
opportunity.
It might be hot enough in July to do it.
Yeah. It might be.
So, what day are we in Duluth?
That would be Sioux Falls to Duluth.
Day 3, technically.
Technically, day 3.
Is that right? Yeah.
3.5 if you want to count.
So that would be
Saturday.
Saturday.
Saturday? Damn.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, Dan.
So Saturday night in Duluth?
You
Saturday night Duluth.
I mean, I don't want it to
Riches.
get too hyped up, but I mean, it is for that part of the state. It is a college town, and it's basically the biggest city in the north, and that's There's
We get all the morons that are there for summer school.
there's right for sure, right. But it's so pretty up there too, because everything, like the entire city you'll see is built outwards from the port, from the water. So it's really cool, and you can sit down there. It's what people do all the time, is they'll go just down into like the main street type area or whatever, and they've got like a big boardwalk built out, a bunch of bars, restaurants, blah blah blah, and they have like a elevation bridge that connects two sides, and you'll just see just massive ships coming in and out of port. It's pretty cool.
Cool.
So Duluth, and then we're going to be riding basically the Upper Peninsula across, doing the Mackinac Bridge down into, where did we say we're staying in Michigan?
Monasteek.
So we're staying somewhere else on the peninsula before we get into Michigan, right?
Muskegon.
Yeah.
Muskegon and then Muskegon.
So Manistee is in Wisconsin, is that right?
Michigan.
It is in Michigan. Okay, I got it.
The other tip.
Yeah. It's real small town shit up there that we were looking at. Kyle wants to go to the what's it called? The Plywood Palace or the
Piles, baby.
What's that? It's titty bar?
It's a little teeny little plywood bar that's like in the middle of nowhere, Wisconsin.
Let's do it.
Plywood bar?
Yeah,
Let's tear it down.
Literally made out of plywood.
Yeah.
Weasels are here, motherfucker.
Let's huff and puff and blow it down.
I have a feeling that's who you're gonna run into those fucking corn-fed motherfuckers. Though.
Yeah.
So that
Jacob, shoot this motherfucker.
Hey, these guys shoot back. What's going on?
So we'll have one more night on the peninsula. Then we're going to be in Muskegon. Is that where we said we're going to stay? And then Muskegon around to Chicago. Chicago's on the, like, I got homies in Chicago that I'm going to reach out to and see if they can kind of give us the pass, like take us
Just to get through the fucking city.
not that way, like take us to the spots, like some.
I'll be fine. We don't got Ryder with us. We barking like a motherfucker.
That's my dog.
I'm trying to remember.
I got you one right there, dude.
Chicago. We were going through Chicago for lunch, right?
I don't.
I feel like we were Chicagoing for lunch.
Kyle,
I don't remember.
What was?
According to our
No.
itinerary.
Staying?
I think we're staying on that.
Muskegon, Chicago to STL.
Okay.
And I think we decided, I think we were just talking, if I remember right, on Chicago, just, are we staying there or are we not kind of staying there?
It was kind of up in the air.
Depends on where you're trying to stay too.
We got a spot we can keep the bikes at, we're good.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I said,
if there's someone
the D
take us in.
DA Performance, like Chuck up there. He'll come out for us, show us where to go.
I'd love to stay in Chicago.
Stay in
I
Flint,
love-
bro. Stay in Flint.
Flint,
Or
Michigan.
Gary. I'm sorry, not Flint.
No, fuck Gary.
Stay in Gary, dude.
What's that?
It's basically Chicago West, I think. It's where all the steel mill and everything used to be for Chicago or coal. One of the two, and it's now like
One of the worst
arguably
cities in
the
America.
like
Hood.
worst. Yeah.
8 Mile?
Bad.
No, that's
Way-
Detroit.
yeah, it's Detroit, but it's way
It's
worse.
like
than
East
that.
St. Louis,
It's bad.
Hell
which is
yeah.
also bad. So then St. Louis, and I think we're going to be staying in Hillsborough area, right?
Yeah, it's open.
And then basically from St. Louis, we're going to end up going to Osage Beach, doing some Ozark stuff.
Lake of the Ozarks.
Yeah.
And then on the 14th, which is a Friday, we're going to be doing a party in Joplin in conjunction with Speed Dealer, the T-Bar, Missouri T-Bar page, and I think a lot of the other club style pages, a lot of the other, like Arkansas.
Illinois.
There's a big group from Texas riding up there
Yeah.
to party and then ride with us to Hot Springs, which will be the last day on our trip. So
Right. That'll be a good time as well.
it's just like this is the first trip that we've ever done where we're close enough to home where other people. I mean, think about it. Is this not the closest trip for us where?
We don't have a fucking.
No, our last night is a hop, skip, and a jump home.
4 hours for me.
It's the closest.
Yeah,
It's the
we're on a
closest
good
trip.
time, that's it.
Yeah.
Period. Like if we want it, put it this way: from where I'm at right now to where I grew up, we could do that in one of our one days. Like it's
Yeah.
900 miles. It's
Yeah.
it's the closest mileage that we can technically kind of get.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
So we're gonna make it a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Is what we're gonna do.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. It's this whole summer for me is shaping up to be pretty insane, but yeah. Excited. Shh, he's coming.
Jolly Green Giant.
That. Is there one particular thing that anybody's like really looking forward to on that first leg on the Midwest?
I really want to take pictures of some of our bikes in that part of Kansas City I told you guys about. I think it's called the West Bottoms.
The deep element, Kansas City.
Pretty much. I just the buildings are just so like the architecture's so old, and I did a whole like deep dive on YouTube with the history of that area, and it's all pretty fascinating. And I just when we ride through it, if we go to this barbecue joint, that's actually some of the best barbecue I've ever had. I don't know the name of it. I just know where it's at. If we came through there on our trip for lunch, doing that would be an easy, situation. And that I'm looking forward to. And the rest of it, honestly, after that point, everything is new territory to me until we get to Muskegon. And I still don't know much about Muskegon either, to be honest with you. I just rode through it.
It'll be fun, man. It'll be fun. I mean, I think just like anything, no matter what we do, we could do the exact same trip 10 times, and it could be 10 different experiences because it changes. Our experience change, life changes. It's one of those things that no matter what you do, so long as you're surrounding yourself with the right people and you're opening yourself up for the opportunity that it can be,
Yeah.
then you're just gonna have a great time
For sure.
no matter what.
What about you? What are you looking forward to?
ESAB.
Well,
Will?
no, I am excited to see Kansas City. Never been there. I've heard good things about it. But really, I'm looking forward to being around the Great Lakes. You know, just being up there. I feel like it's gonna feel like at home, but I feel like it's gonna be, like you said, more lakes and streams and probably wildlife, probably more up there. I'm just really looking forward to going around Lake Michigan too. And man, I wish we had time we could test out our passport situation if we wanted to dip into Canada right there. just see if they'll let you in.
I don't have a passport yet.
Well, hurry up and get it.
I never filled it
Go
out.
straighten out the rules. Hey,
In Dallas, you can get them same day.
What was it? So a lot of people have hit me up about whether or not we're going to be going to the 120th. And even though we're going to be there in the area at the same time, we're not going.
Right.
And it's only like so the 120th, that whole deal, like I don't want to talk down on it, but nothing looks appealing to me for us as a group to go to.
Well, it's more the Harley crowd. You know, it's more the Hell Yeah Brother
Hog Chapter stuff.
It's not our scene, but
I mean, don't get me wrong.
I love Milwaukee. Milwaukee's a fun town.
It'd be cool to go, and that I'm sure we'd find enjoyment out of it, right? But we find enjoyment out of anything. Our trip and all the trips that we've done are for us, right?
Yeah.
It's not for an event. It's not for a specific location, that type of thing. It is for us. So we've been able to fold a few things in, and we're doing that a couple times on these trips.
Yeah.
So that's cool, but that's not the sole purpose of these trips. So if you haven't figured that out yet, like that's why we're not going, right? It's not because we don't want to or it wouldn't be fun or anything like that. It's just this supersedes that for sure for us.
Yeah.
We don't want to hang out with you boomer fucks. Okay, watch Matlock and jerk off or something. I don't know. Fuck out of my face.
Put you in a wood jibber.
Exactly.
Well, I just, with Tommy not being up there, even though we still have some homies at House of Harley, we just don't have a connection. Like we don't have a home
Alex
base.
Vogel.
Yeah.
Solid dude.
You know what I mean? We just don't have a home base up there where it's like, I'm not trying to pay extended prices on hotels to be in an area to see the bike that we already knew was coming. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I mean, it'd be stoked to be there, but I don't know what else. I don't know what. There's nothing about it that's making me like I got to be there.
No.
It's not like
Same.
Sturgis or Born Free or something to me. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody can make it worth our while, maybe a couple paid suites at a hotel. Suites, not just rooms. Small inclusive buffets. I don't know. Yeah. Some cheese curds.
Cheese curds do go hard up there, though.
The squeaky.
We can work something out. We can make an appearance if the price is right.
I'm gonna get a bottle of Malort when we go through Chicago.
Oh God! Don't do that.
Come on, KZ.
Terrible. Ugh.
Oh man! So what else you guys got?
I don't know, man. I guess it's one where every year or at least the last 2 years, it's been real big, like leading up to it, telling people like, oh, I'm doing this and this is where we're going. Like it's almost kind of like bragging because they've been real badass locations. Like, oh, we're going all the way up to Maine or we're going all the way up to Washington. This year, I don't know. I haven't really, I guess, been bragging about it or whatever. But I don't give a fuck about the location. Like, I'm stoked about it, and I know that it's going to be more beautiful than I think. I guess I'm just excited for the trip. It's one of those things where the least of, like, where am I going, whatever, the more I'm like, I'm going with my dude. It's like,
I feel like it's going to be in Idaho for
my
us.
fucking team is.
I think it's going to be a sleeper. I think it's going to be a sleeper. It's going to be some unexpected beauty that we weren't expecting. Like,
oh shit, that girl kind of hot.
Yeah.
What state is that? What state is that?
I was talking about the ride.
I feel like I'm going to kind of pack light, and it's like, we've done this before, and I don't know.
All right, wait. Y'all packing rain suits?
Yeah,
no,
dude.
probably not July. But
Yep.
it's
Yes, I will be.
I don't know.
anyways.
I don't know why that's still a question.
The team
you didn't figure out your lesson last
Let's
time.
roll. That's the way I'm looking at
If
it.
you don't want to wear a rain suit, I won't wear one with you, brother. I don't want to leave you out.
I'm kind of with you, Cody.
I don't have space for one.
Did you go to the Duluth Trading Company to get the last rain suit? You'll be right there in Duluth to get it.
Hey, Mike.
They got an outlet, kind of like
I
Dickies
wish I
and
could
Fort
just
Worth.
get a. Do they make a rain suit that's a bib where you can just throw like a rain jacket on and then you wear a
poncho.
bib?
Like a onesie?
Yeah, like some coveralls.
romper?
Like some overalls, coveralls.
A
but it's
wetsuit?
all-
Yeah, they
where
do
it's all,
make. Yeah,
like,
they do.
If I
have
could
those.
just get something that you could slide into and then throw like a quick a vest on, or even something that you just the whole fucking like a pair of coveralls.
Yeah.
Hits. That's all I need.
I think we all
They got
agree
them.
that
I'm
we
tired
don't
of
even
carrying
we
a
don't
bunch
put
of
them on unless if we're going through some shit. Like if it's just on the road and there happens to be some precipitation, blah blah blah, right? We all just get wet.
Like
But when we
5
know that
days of
through
precipitation.
the next week we're finna get rained on. Yep, I don't mind having the suit. Doesn't like
we went to
you're
the
not completely
Northeast.
dry, but you're drier.
So it's too,
Go ahead.
it's too early to start looking at the weather, but surely it's not because. And I think even for the Pacific Northwest, we talk to people that are like, "Yeah, it's typically not raining right now." I think we just hit one of those the luck for whatever reason where we were wet like 10 days in a row or some dumb shit, or 10 days overall out of a 20-day trip.
Was it that long?
It surely can't be that long.
Yeah, I thought it was about
Dude,
5
5
days
days.
straight.
There was something
5 days
where
straight we were
it was like,
But
what
we
the
were in the freaking middle of it, you know? I mean, I expected it, but my dumbass still didn't bring it. Right.
Yeah. So, well, my thing is, even then, I think that was kind of an anomaly. I don't think we were supposed to get it like that.
Yeah, it's
And
early in the year.
I'm kind
too.
of clickety clack that it's not going to happen
Yeah.
again. You know what I mean?
I'll gamble on it.
And then when we did the Northeast trip, we only had that one rain day, which was when we went through Ohio, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
when we went through Ohio instead of West Virginia, which is why we're going back to West Virginia.
Because if we would have did
Motherfuckers.
West
The
Virginia,
whole East Coast
we
trip.
still got
Yeah,
rained
be
on,
gone
but we
with
knocked
Flip
it off.
that coin and went to what, Pittsburgh or Cincy, right?
It was Pittsburgh
We
or
went to
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati instead of going
Correct.
to West Virginia.
Correct.
Yeah. Yep.
I still never been to Pittsburgh. I've
Me
had
neither.
5 opportunities to go to Pittsburgh,
heard
and I've
Pittsburgh's
always
tits.
kept going. Yeah, he told me it was badass.
Yeah.
So
Are we
good
going
spot,
on the
man.
trip?
now
No.
Oh,
we're too far north.
oh, hyper focus. We can do it again.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing.
Go up in the what are the damn mountains in New York?
Appalachians.
Catskills,
Adirondacks.
Adirondacks.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
When I say Catskills, I think of like
Adirondacks.
hood apartments.
I think Catskills is like northern New York, if I'm not mistaken.
You know, mountains Kyle likes to climb the Adirondacks.
terrible.
Terrible.
All right, so what else we got? Any more news?
Where all the white women at? I don't know.
Or black.
Sure, you're gonna see a lot of them up north. That's for damn sure.
You can see right through them.
entire cities, nothing but white people. So
Bunch of chicks that grew up playing hockey.
every fucking one, hockey and softball.
I
Take your
can't- I
pick.
can't wait till Chance gets punked out by another chick.
He got punked out by a chick in Missoula, right?
He's ready
He's
he's ready to
punching
fight
the air
that
right
bitch.
now, dude. Yeah.
He like Boys in the Hood. What do you say?
Go back and punch that bitch in the mouth.
Yeah, I guess that's what I'm looking forward to the most. And just like I said, a fourth trip, fifth trip, whatever the fuck it is, but us, just where the jokes, there's layers on layers. The comfortability is, you know,
What's going to be our saying this year?
Yeah,
Last year
I'm
was
about
go
to say-
fuck
Well, that's the
yourself.
thing.
It's
You wanna know-
organic.
you wanna
It's
know
organic. It
We
shows
always
itself.
We always get one saying every year.
Well, okay. What was the? Can we remember some of the first sayings on the first trips?
Oh Lord.
I don't first.
I don't remember the first
Don't give
trip.
me
Kyle and I
lying.
didn't go on.
Sturgis trip. Which one? What was the saying? We've had sayings on every trip.
Hell yeah, brother was
Jacob
still new
remembers
on the
it. I
Sturgis
guarantee
trip.
Jacob will be the one that remembers.
Yeah, Jacob will.
Was that the year?
He probably said them all.
Was that the year? It's like, watch out, man.
Yeah.
That was Sturgis was watch out, man.
Okay. Yeah.
And that
Go.
started the trip we did the little Tennessee run, just the like
Oh, yeah.
6 of us or whatever.
Yeah, that was the
Mid-year trip or whatever we did.
COVID trip.
Yeah, COVID trip.
Watch out.
But
man.
it ran into Sturgis in that trip too.
What was New York saying?
That one doesn't count.
I feel like we had something in New York.
There was something.
Yeah,
from
there
New
was
York.
something.
Cream on.
No, that wasn't out yet.
It's been out.
Was it Black Ass? That was. Well, we've been rolling with that one for a minute too. There was something in New York.
There was. Damn, what was it?
But yeah, I guess that again, that's my most is the friend part of it. At this point, the destination is irrelevant.
Right.
I'm stoked about seeing where we're going to see, especially creating the accomplishment. But the best part, and maybe this is like a kid that's a product of divorce. Like, I'm nervous, man. I've said it before. I'm scared that this maybe that it doesn't turn into. We've always talked about what will we do next, but after we get this one goal, then the just the likelihood and natural whatever that all of a sudden it could. It's not the same thing. It could, if it's ever going to drop off, it'll be after this one. So there's part of me that's just looking to soak it all up because somewhere in the back of my paranoid abandonment issues brain, I'm going, this could be the last one. Yeah. So just kind of soak up every fucking second of it.
Well, on that note, everybody's got to find their own reason to continue to do stuff. And, sometimes the stakes become higher, the reach is further, and that could like alienate some people from the situation, or they're not enough. You know, maybe it's like smaller things that just doesn't quite hold the weight of some of the highs that we've had. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's going to be a for sure thing. I mean, in my head, I'm thinking like, yeah, like we just roll it over next year. What's the next big thing to do?
Exactly.
But you know,
we drill down. But yeah, I want to keep it going in perpetuity, where we have a meeting and it's okay. Now this meeting is going to be different than any other one we've had, because instead of a block of the country, we really have free fucking reign. What do we want to do? Where do we like to
listen?
We've all been go to Colorado for a week.
We've all been setting goals our whole life. I don't know why we wouldn't be able to come back and set another goal for ourselves after achieving another goal. You know what I mean?
Well, one we talked about earlier today was, you know, international. Of course, I mean that's a big goal for everybody, I feel like, and if that's not the case, or some people can't do it or whatever, it's I mean, I just feel like it's going to be easy breezy. It's going to be hyper focused in areas that we really enjoyed.
I agree.
Well, see, that trip, if we do lean into that EDR run, then that's a very easy first step into that, meaning that it's not that far for us from us. To go to fucking the Baja, California is closer than San Francisco.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
it just requires planning.
Yeah.
Just like anything else.
I think we'll be fine. We just gotta continue to like set goals, like you said. Like I think setting goals is the most important thing people can do in their life. And I don't want to get super philosophical right now, but when I feel like as I'm getting older and when I see and meet older people, the people that don't have goals are the people that I feel like that are just waiting to die. You know what I mean? And that sounds kind of like mean and fucked up, but when you're around somebody that's older and they literally have no real goals, no plans, no future, no dreams,
They're just existing.
they just exist. They just go to work. They're waiting on their retirement. Like their goals or their dreams are when the society lets them have the things they said they could have if they did the thing they were supposed to do, versus like if you're out there constantly trying to like find the new thing, like push the new limits of yourself, figure out what you want to do, go experience this, like that shit keeps you young.
Yeah, I've
You know
seen
what
too
I'm
many people that just push it off and push it off and push it off, and then they're 60 and they can't get
And they
to
can't.
it. And,
They
and it's just,
You're right.
it's like
They got the time and the money.
The time is now,
But they ain't got the body anymore.
Yeah, the time is now. I mean, if you're going to do anything, the time is now. And one thing I feel about this whole group is that we're all pretty easygoing, and we're all, you know, we care about what each other wants to do. So if it comes down to we got 3 different decisions on the table, we fucking throw them in a hat, shake it up, and draw.
I think we conversate very well, and we all, because communication. Like, look, we had a lot of different opinions about this trip.
Yeah.
But we all came together and we all put all the problems on the table and we found the best solution. Whether it doesn't matter whose idea it was or not, it was about like, okay, well, at the end of the day, like everybody has to be willing to go with the flow. You can't have the one guy like, I'm doing this and fuck y'all.
Right.
That shit never works out. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's why we also decided this year is the first year we've ever split it up. This is also, 2 10-day trips, which is the longest we've ever been on the road together.
Right.
It'll be a solid 20 days instead of 14 or 16 is probably the most we've done together. And, it worked out. Like you said, we resolved every question everybody had right here at this table. Absolutely.
I think Florida's what fucked us on that one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You really,
you're basically carving like 3 days out just to tick that off.
yeah.
But at the same time, same type of thing when we're talking about some of the other furthest places we've been to. You have to make those sacrifices in order to achieve that goal. But at the end of the day, we all know the other 7 men in this group very, very well.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that you're not going to stop wanting to do this. You're not going to want to stop do this. You're not going to want it like by yourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like June's going to come around or whatever. The next summer is going to come around. You're going to be like, well, I want to go motorcycle traveling. So whether you do it with this group, which we found to be very successful, easy, just a really beneficial thing, or you do it all by yourself, like I'm still going to do this
Yeah.
until I can't.
Yeah.
So the fact that we don't have to see eye to eye, we just have to have the want to do it together. And as long as that's there, well, I'll fucking go anywhere with you, man. I really will.
And
I really will.
Selflessness, is that right? selflessness.
Yeah, you have to be selfless
of other people's
like ultimately
wants and needs. Yeah,
you know, the idea is to try to like think about what could make this the most fun experience. But when you have this group, like that's why we have the meetings. That's why we talk about these trips, is because we're all coming to the table with ideas like, hey, you saw this on YouTube, you want to check this spot out, and blah, 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 and this. And maybe James did a deep dive and thinking, okay, we could do this to this to this to this. And so now we all come to the table with all this planning. And all that planning, think about it, man. Think about every aspect of your life. If you could, everything you've ever had to plan, every trip, if the other partner came with that much information on the table to help you out, like it would make life so much better. Yeah, there's going to be compromise that happens, but that compromise is easy to like make because everybody's they're on the same page of like want as you. Like it's you know what I mean?
It's a compromise, but like your goal, because the baseline is like we even spoke about it earlier. We don't necessarily go to the touristy spaces.
Yeah.
We go to the places that make sense for us, and our enjoyment is us.
Yeah.
We make every space enjoyable. So if possibly an idea is compromised, you have compromise on your idea, you don't feel individually compromised. Like I'm not like, you know what? You completely ruined my whole trip because you didn't accept my idea. Like I never feel compromised by what the conversation is that we all have. Right? Because we know the underlying issue is we want to have a wonderful trip for all of us, and whatever route that is, because oftentimes it's just pulling up a map and say, that road's pretty fucking squiggly, so let's take that one. And at no point do I feel like, you know what? They didn't respect my opinion or my perspective was not valid.
Well, you have ample time to put that in. Like that's why we have meetings. And if you have a thing where you go, hey, guys, even if I have to break off from the group, if when we're going through here, we're within 100 miles of this, I have to fucking see this. My life won't be the same. We have meetings where you can say that. And as a group, we'd probably go, all right, well then fuck it. We'll bend it 100 miles this way.
We're going,
Because we do that.
Because if it means that much to you, it probably means that much to us.
There's a difference. There's a difference. We have a meeting and there's people that a lot of us defer and we don't care. And it's different than taking your bitch or your girl or whatever, taking your chick to
my wife.
It's different than asking your chick what she wants to eat. I don't care. It's different than that. When we say we don't care, we really don't, because wherever the fuck we're going, the party is where we're at. And it really does matter. I've never been here before. I think that's honestly...
We're the MacGyvers of good times,
I know I can speak for kind of Jacob, Larry, and Chance on that.
I need a toothpick. I need a beer.
They'll speak up. Hey, I need to go see Doc Holliday's grave, motherfuckers. Right. I'm going to either... I'll catch up with you or whatever the fuck, but I'm going to see that.
I'm stopping,
Yeah, and other than, things like that. But that's why we have meetings. And that's the... I don't know, the confidence, the
the more that everybody brings to the meeting, the more that the more fruitful the trip can become, because you're getting ideas from 8 different individuals rather than one dude or 2 dudes or 3 dudes that are putting in all the effort to come up with the idea. Like, this goes back to the concept of like, I think our group, and I've always said this, is that like we have a group of leaders amongst us. We all kind of, like, as he walks away, we all kind of like cut our own path and whatnot. No, I'm good. You're good. You can go pee.
No, bitch, go.
When you have that, like to be a good leader, you have to be a follower too. You know what I mean? Because you learn how to lead through following. You learn how to lead by observing how other people handle themselves and do things. And when you're doing something that's collective amongst, 8 other individuals, you can't always just be the dude that's like this way or fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, because you have to respect the fact that, okay, I'm on vacation. You're on vacation. But you might have had to do more to be on vacation than I had to do. So I got to fucking respect the fact that this might be your only vacation this year. And I don't want to ruin it by, you know, whatever. And then also, like, you never know when is going to be the fucking amazing experience, right?
Yeah.
Because
we all sometimes.
Yeah, we always put certain places on a pedestal, like that's going to be the shit. But then next thing you know, the night before in the Hobuck town that we went to ended up being the fucking
The
The
unsuspecting
shit.
stuff.
Yeah.
and we were too hungover to enjoy the one we were planning on. You know what I mean?
It'd be like that sometimes.
It'd be like that sometimes.
I seen it from a distance. We're good. Keep rolling.
But that's how you're supposed to live, man. You're supposed to do that. You don't fucking come to this town and not do it because you're planning on doing it tomorrow night. You just come and go with the flow.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Just got to get some experience in there. One day we'll get another microphone. But no, I think that, like, you know, no matter what happens in the future, like doing this trip with you guys over the last 4 years has shown me how, like, it has become the prototype, you know what I'm saying, of how to always do my trips or how to baseline my ideas on doing a trip. You know, I'm down to do whatever we're going to do together, and hopefully it's going to be international borders, and hopefully one day we're all financially there enough to where it's overseas and things like that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, you know, my life is motorcycles 24/7. So, like, I'm gonna ride with people a lot here and there, and, you know, it's like when we went to Sturgis, when we did the Sturgis thing 2 years ago. It's like we're a well-oiled machine when we run, and then we had a lot of new guys with us.
Right.
That they're all good dudes,
Right.
but it was like really difficult because there was too much input at the wrong time. It was really hard. Like when you ride with a certain group of people all the time, and then you bring in some newcomers, it kind of throws the vibe off. Like, do you feel like, I feel like when we ride together, we go places, it's like
It's unspoken.
it's like a watch, an exploded view of a watch that comes back together and just easily starts fucking working. You know what I mean?
Well, we know where everybody's going to be at.
I haven't ridden with y'all in a while.
Yeah, but I guarantee we'll fall into place
We
like
ride to Brownsville.
it doesn't
tonight.
matter.
We could go jump on
doesn't
bikes
matter.
and ride to Brownsville right now. It'd be fun.
I can't. My bike's in pieces.
In theory, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah,
the best part to me. That's a sign of,
Well, that would-
true depth in relationship, real genuine friends. If you have a great friend, lifelong or not, new, whatever, and you don't see them, right, for a month or a week or a year or whatever, the sign of real connection is that you're able to just simply pick up from where you left off. And there's no awkwardness. There's no, it's just like we're adults. We're grown people. We have lives all of our own, right?
Right.
It's not like we're in school and, hey, you need to come to my house 4 days a week for us to be friends. Like, we don't quantify friendship that way. Like, the way that we quantify friendship is by these experiences, like these trips. This is what make us what we are to this day.
Well, it goes without saying too. Like nobody.
Who's sleeping on me?
Hey, we'll wait.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right,
Maybe
no, we're good.
I'm just kidding.
No,
You were fucking like breathing heavy as fuck with there, but it could have been the dog.
I think the dog was
Rider.
snoring.
that's my homie snoring.
I thought it's called too. I was like, this motherfucker.
We all be like it. We all be
I
like
had
it.
headphones on.
Dude, I was gonna hit you with one of these empties.
No, I know what you're saying.
Producer.
Well, it goes without saying. I don't think, you know, we don't talk every day on the phone. We don't talk once a week on the phone. You know, y'all might or whatever, but you know, I just feel like every time we get together, we pick up, you know, right where we left off. It goes without saying. I mean, I don't even talk to my homies back in East Texas, you know, every day. You know, we once a week, you know, on the weekends or something like that. But it's like you said, everybody's got their lives. They got shit going on, you know, and it seems what's the word I'm looking for? It's easy. It's easy to pick back up with with this group. You know, it's just
Seamless.
Seamless. Yeah,
Just the way it should be too. Because I mean, whether we want to admit it or not, we're a bunch of middle-aged men that are friends. So if you
friends out of choice, I think that makes
100% friends out of choice.
You got a bunch of dudes that are
Met each other.
not that
friends because their wives.
We don't live in the
friends,
same neighborhood.
or
We're
their
not
kids are the
barbecuing
same
every weekend,
age
you
or
know?
whatever
Exactly.
the fuck. Their boat slips are next to each other.
Right.
This is an effort. I mean, this is a.
Yeah. Nothing about it's easy. Yeah.
Right. But to that end, like put it this way: if Jaden's at my house 5 days a week because he like doesn't have anything else to do, I don't know if we're as good of friends as we are. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to get a fucking life, dude. Like, I got shit to do too, type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it is those. So we all appreciate the time that we do have together, which is why it's what makes it so valued and so important, because it's everything in between that allows us to get to this 2-week deal that we look forward to every year. And indefinitely, I will look forward to this time of year because I want to do this.
Yeah.
It's unique, man. It's super unique, but also it's awesome. Like, I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah.
And just
For
the
sure.
PS5 would be dope though.
the dynamic, you
You ain't got one?
know, that half the dudes
Bro.
Damn, bro.
when it comes to this trip,
Bro,
the
dude, even Cody got one.
fact that half the guys are 2 hours away,
Yeah.
and it's not an everyday,
Right.
You know, because a lot of times you see people, Scott and his wife, obviously, their husband and wife, they live together. It's easy to travel with somebody that you're, you know, proximity with, but to something that, and the four of us, I mean, we've all got different schedules and kind of different lives going on, and it's badass. The fact that this shit comes together like Voltron, you know, once a year without, you know, it's one of those things where it's
I like Captain Planet better.
having somebody, yeah, it's having somebody that doesn't understand it. Maybe, you know, this is as far as if you were to change relationships or whatever. Yes, this is a ready-made priority. This is grandfathered in. This is the Boots Burger of friends. You know what I mean? That's a Rockwall reference, which means you can't fuck with it. It doesn't. I know you're new. I know whatever, but guess what? This is established. This is here before you. God love you. This will be here after you. And
Yeah, no, it's there's definitely something good about that. I mean, don't get us wrong. Like, this group of friends that started at a bike night has turned in. It's created a camp out that's changed people's lives in a sense. It maybe not changed the lives in a sense of like it allowed them to make the decisions to change their lives in motorcycling, right? And you know, I started this podcast, and a lot of us came together shortly afterwards. I mean, I had this podcast going for 4 months before I met James, and then 5 months later I met you, and then Jaden and Kyle came a few months afterwards. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of this stuff has just organically happened. I think James said this a long time ago. It's like we all found each other at a point in our lives where we were looking for something, and we didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was because I know I like traveling on motorcycles. That's something I had loved, but I had never done it the way that we did it together. I had done it in a way that was that I thought was badass, and it was in its own right. It was, but it was infant. You know, it was like full of. It was the first time you do anything, right?
Right.
And by the time we got to do our first trip together, I felt less like it was up to me to plan everything and be the purveyor of entertainment. And I felt like I just needed to be a part of it, and I could rely on you guys to also take the responsibility of making sure that like it's a good time for everybody. Like I'm wired that way. Like if James is
I
that
want
way.
everybody to have a good time.
You know, when we had the Halloween parties at James's house, that's the same concept. It's like
you want to be a host.
you want to make sure that everybody's enjoying
Right.
something that you've,
Exactly.
you know, that you're a part of. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If everybody's not having a good time, I'm not having a good time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And-
I'm the same way.
You know, it just kind of came together, and you know, traveling on motorcycles, fuck, dude, you know,
You said you didn't know what you were looking for when we all met. I knew what I was looking for.
No, I mean, we didn't.
I was looking for friends, like straight up.
Yeah, but I don't think we knew that we were gonna find what we found.
Oh,
maybe,
not at all. Not at all. Like I said, when I went to bike night, I was looking for dudes that I could ride to strokers with. Maybe go do some. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go do like a ride or all these solo trips I've done. Maybe a Munster trip. Like I was just looking to do that with somebody else, other than some random dickhead at the gas station. Because I met a handful of those guys.
Yeah,
they were cool, but nobody you'd want to like at the end of the day, hey, dude.
Well, it's a level of involvement.
You want to get a beer later or whatever? I was looking for friends. I mean, shame, no shame, whatever the fuck. And then not only did I find them, but
dude, we've all been riding bikes longer than we've known each other. How many people have you ran into who ride bikes, but they don't ride bikes the way we ride bikes, right? Sometimes you got to get to a point where you meet the person, or put like this,
or they ride bikes and they just fucking suck.
No, I mean,
dude,
it's
do
hard.
You not know people that I do.
No, let me ask you this. How hard is it if you take everything you've done motorcycling, all the places you've been now, take that off the table, and all you have to do to show the world that you're a motorcyclist is whatever Dallas has to offer? Like, that's all you got to like show the new guy you met at the gas station? But when we meet people at bike night, we get to show them all these amazing places we go, and we get to show them how to do it. The problem is that people, like, we look at traveling on motorcycle cross country like this shit's like second nature to us. But for most people that buy bikes, that shit's off the table. Vacation, how do you plan? How do you even do this? Travel, what are you talking about? I don't have friends that want to do this. I'd never do that alone. There's so many roadblocks for people to ever travel motorcycles that they just do the norm. Maybe they have the time off, they have the money, they have the bike, but they have the wife that won't let them leave the house, right? They can't go out of their town. They have to go to Chili's fucking bar and grill every night. That's their good time, right? You meet these guys all over Dallas. It's just, you get lucky when you find a podcast where you get to hear guys like us talking about or pulling the curtain back of traveling, or they find some of this through other means of media, or there's that one dude in town that's traveled the fucking world and they just happen to be able to be in the garage and listen to a drunk conversation about that. So I've been riding bikes since 2004, and I've been in so many situations and met so many people, but never ever in fucking 10 plus years did I ever meet anybody that really inspired me to want to travel on bikes. And then all of a sudden it was like I found myself in places where everybody was inspiring me to ride bikes. So it's like a weird thing. Where I don't even know how I started this, but I'm not going against the grain. I'm just saying that, like, most people that you run into on motorcycles are not going to be to the extent of motorcyclists that we are. The average dude is just a guy that has a bike, that gets out when he can. He has softball. He likes cigars. He's got all these other things, and motorcycling fits in like way back here. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when people come to T-Bar Tuesday, a lot of the guys that's hanging out there, a lot of us are guys where motorcycling is way closer to the front line. You know, yes, we do have careers. We do have wives. Some of us have kids. But motorcycles are right there. There's not five more things before you get to motorcycling. And so a lot of the issues that we had with DFW Dyna Crew early on was because of that. You have the difference between people and where they're... Now, I'm not trying to talk shit. I'm not trying to rehash something. I'm just saying, like, when you have a lot of people where motorcycling is a deeper connection to you as a person, and you're around a lot of people who are... this is a new thing for them, they're not sure how deep this is for them, you're going to have a disconnect. You're going to feel like some people are, you know, whatever, you're going to have opposition, and that's what happened. And I feel like the way I am could be off-putting to a lot of people, but at the same time, I'll show you a fucking good time if you take the time off. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you got to find people that are... ingrained the same way you are, I guess, you know, and you know, when I reached out and was looking for this kind of stuff, I mean, it's exactly what I was looking for. You know, I was looking for people that wanted to do more, you know, that wanted to get out of the bubble.
Let me ask you this. how many times, and we've all heard this, how many times do you hear people at a bike night or anywhere at the bar, man, I just really want to get out and do more than just bar hop. Yeah. And then you ask them to go do something. No, can't do it, man. Yeah. Memorial Day weekend, we fish fry every weekend.
Yeah, we're going to the lake.
Yeah.
But that's kind of, I think, what you alluded to, and we didn't exactly know, right, when we met at the time. It was just the right time for each and every one of us for different reasons. But the underlying item was we all wanted that more, right? Even if we didn't know what the more was, we knew that it was out there, and we had to kind of just be open to it showing it to us and allowing us to kind of, inspire one another.
Yeah.
And in turn, what that's allowed us to do is kind of grow over these last 5 years and do the traveling that we've done. And, you've got the podcast, so we've been able to extend the voice and the thing that we talk about just with our own selves. And fortunately, it's allowed us, with the things that we've inspired each other to do, to inspire other people to want to do the same thing. And that's all that came from, was each and every one of us allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, to go up to another man and be like, I want to kind of do more. Like, let's hang out and let's see maybe where this can go. It is big weird, but it's also like, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that until you will allow yourself to do that, you'll never know what those possibilities could be.
Yeah.
And of course it's scary, right? And it's easy. Like, it's so easy to kind of just stay in your circle or your comfort zone, or, all I do is I hang out with my high school friends. Because why? Because we grew up together and we're tight knit and this is us. And like, it is literally hard to go break into a, I don't know, pre-existing circle or it's a very challenging thing to do in the middle of life. So, like I said, like we were at different points in all of our lives, but we were at the right point for each of us at that point. We're not all the same age, fucking demographic, we're not the same, but we're so similar
we're all
that
white,
it's
though.
Eerily scary. Yes, 100%. We got no color in this.
We need diversity. We need some diversity in our group.
But it really is a beautiful thing.
The ninth spot is open.
We're gonna make Larry blackface.
Let's be real. Hey, if anybody, Larry does got some tendencies. I tell you that.
He picks the guy already named Dirty. Let's stay away from that.
Yeah,
we can recruit.
Old Dirty Larry.
Old Dirty Dick D. Wayne.
Yeah. Unfortunately, well, to piggyback on what you're saying, James, like I said, I think that we came together as friends. It was like, we started small. Let's do this camp out. The camp out turned into like, this is obtainable.
Yeah.
Hey, we should go somewhere far. Like, let's do something bigger. And that barrel rolled into the first big trip, which, like I said, traveling on motorcycles is something that I've enjoyed doing a lot of my life. I knew I enjoyed it, but there were parts of it that I hadn't experienced yet, and I would put like the Northeast trip, the last trip out west, some of the parts of the very first trip in 2019 that we did. I mean, those things are like highlights. I think I made a post last night, and I was just like, I had to be careful because I couldn't say it was like top 5 things that's ever happened to me in my life, because I'm married, I got 2 kids and shit. So there's like 3 right there, right?
Default.
Yeah. It's like, nah, but those are great too. But at the same time, I wasn't trying to make a point scale. But at the same time, like, man, like these things that I've been able to experience on motorcycles, bike apart, like we were talking about the San Juan Inn, like that experience, like that is it's completely like, I can't put a price tag. I can't put anything on that. It was an amazing thing. I wish that everybody could be in the same frame of mind that I was at the time to experience that and take it in and enjoy it. That's the other thing that's been hard to learn, is that we talk about what we talk about on here. Not everybody gets it because they're not there on that wavelength of caring about traveling on motorcycles.
Absolutely.
Maybe the coolest thing to them about bikes is showing up to the local bike night and just fucking having the coolest bike, or ripping that canyon, or whatever. Everybody has their goals, right, or their things. But man, once it became travel, and then when we start talking about international, we start talking about the world, and we start talking about all these other things. Like, to me, that's a legacy that I want to fucking have.
Me too.
You know what I'm saying?
Me too. And that's also why the other things kind of get dulled out in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, when we've done all of this super distance riding, right? And at one point in time, that, you know, bar night, or, you know, ripping to the softball fields or whatever it was, like, that was our, like, ceiling for each of us. And we've just chosen to kind of continue to elevate that ceiling in a sense. And I'm not saying you do it forever, but you do find like where you fit in, and it feels like the most comfortable, the most rewarding, the most kind of well-rounded experience. And you're like, all right, this is me, right? This is truly what I identify with. This is something I say, like, this is something that fills my soul in a way. When I go on these trips with you, man, and versus the day I left compared to the day I come home, I am a better version of myself because of those travels. And that, to me, like, I can't ask for anything more. The fact that I'm able to fill myself up, my power meter, if you will, whatever, and I come back, and then I'm able to be that heightened version of myself in life, in my job, in my relationship, in my life, like, to me, then that's just making me the best version of me that I can, right? If like, I say this all the time, like, if that's part of making me happy, right? And if I can't be happy, how the fuck can I, like, give other people happiness? How can I be happy in my relationship? Or how can I fucking say, hey, Mom, like, I'm having a great day. Like, I have to be happy first. Yeah. And this is definitely a big catalyst to my personal individual happiness. Mm-hmm. And it really does come down to, like, we understand, we empathize, we understand that we're all not the same, but we're very similar in the fact that, like, we're on a wavelength that maybe just some other people don't understand, and that's completely okay. But we get it, and we understand what it means to you, and it means to you, and it means to you. And that's why we love and appreciate and respect it the way that we do. We know that it's not just my trip or your trip, or it's our trip, because it does mean something to each one of us when we go home with this. And that's why we as soon as we're home, right, we're like, I can't wait for the next one. Like, it's just, it is like so valuable.
24-hour silence. Everybody, I'm home, made it, whatever.
Yeah, exhausted. Right, I came. Let's go.
Yeah, there's a 24-hour silence where everybody's just sleeping, resting, and then it's like, guys, I wish I was back on the road. I guess I wish we were doing like day 16 now or whatever. Like, miss y'all. Like, the excitement starts immediately.
Absolutely.
I hate to say it, but it's almost made my day-to-day life, like, more boring and more
just like what you said.
I see what you're saying.
Like, more regular,
more that I mundane.
You know,
whatever.
It gives me more wanderlust of wanting to be out on the road, traveling and doing all that stuff. You know, I mean, I don't know. You think about it all the time. You know, when you ain't got nothing to do, you're just looking forward to that next trip. You know, it stays on my mind a lot.
It's a bit of an addiction, if we're honest. Like,
yeah, it is an addiction.
It gives us such a high, and it probably is like I don't know. It's not like a chemical. Maybe it is a chemical thing. Like, it's that high, natural high that we're all getting off of this experience, and then when you come off of it, you're like, whew, all I want to do is be high, in a sense, right? When's the next time I can go get high with my friends again? Like, that way, you know what I mean?
I think that we transcended to another plane of existence around the rest of the world. The rest of the world is still operating on a day-to-day basis. Work, school, this, but everybody's doing their day-to-day thing. And when you're on a bike and you're on a bike trip, you just fucking, you skip another dimension, and you're just like getting to do everything like it's a month of Saturdays, baby.
I won't name names, but every trip we do, there's a few people that towards the end they're like, oh, I miss my wife, I miss this, and there's a few. I'm not naming names, and there's a few of us that are like, if my direct deposit would just keep coming, motherfucker, I wouldn't go back. I will fucking keep rolling, baby. Like modern day Iron Cowboy, whatever you want to call it, and it's. We know who we are.
Scooter Tramp Scotty, baby. Let's go.
I actually do find it, like we've identified that moto travel is the thing that really like feeds us in a lot of ways. But I will actually say that I would extend that just into travel.
Oh yeah,
travel.
If we ran a car,
is what exactly
we could talk more.
Not to say like the moto travel is a super unique experience that I love to share with you men because like it's unique, right? But I tell you what, like when I travel with my wife, when I travel with my family, when I do those as well, I also get a high.
Yeah.
So like I'm not saying one's better than the other or all that, but like, listen, when I'm with my old lady and we're somewhere, like we're fucking on level 10 too. Like it's amazing. Yeah. And then you come back and you're back to real life shit, right? It's no difference, but this is a very unique form of travel that not everybody knows how to do. Not everybody will do. A lot of people don't have the guts to fucking do it. Like it's, it's unique.
You know what really is unique about this is that after 800 miles in a day, you know what we don't say when we get back to the place?
Tired.
I'm tired.
I'm ready to go home.
My butt hurts. I'm really sore.
Hype. It's adrenaline. It's everything.
No, dude. We all hurt, and we're all on the same page.
We all know how each other feels. We're like,
No, you know what? That's a great point because you know exactly the man next to you, in front, behind, everything. They're experiencing the exact same wind, weather, sunshine, ass hurt. They're experiencing the same pain. So if you bitch, motherfucker, they better be like.
That's when it gets back to like a team aspect.
You're going through the same suck.
Sports, military, whatever. But where you're, you know what I mean. At this point, we've got the miles in, between us already logged. Where it's.
You're not going to let the man down beside you.
We're a squad,
You're not going to say,
well,
guys, I think I'm going to stay here an extra day. I need the rest.
Yeah, no, it's. We've talked about that before. Is we've all had moments of your own personal tank fucking getting close to E, but all of a sudden just pulling energy, whatever, from the group. Where you go, well, even if it's just stubborn, I'm not going to be the bitch. Like I don't want to do it. Everything. So we've all had the days where fuck, dude. I'll catch up. I'll go double time. I'll catch up with these motherfuckers later. Let me just. I'll stay here one more day. But nope, that's not how it goes. You rally and
you suck it up,
sack up. Let's
go.
You
hurt that day, but guess what? Everybody pulls for you. Maybe somebody blesses you with maybe the Adderall fairy comes and visits your fucking handlebar.
Adderall's badass on a trip.
But you know what? At the same time, and I'll say because we know that each one of us, like, we just won't let each other down, right? So if, for example, somebody were to just be like, you know what? Like, I'm hurting or something, like, to that point, like, we would know that's the realest shit ever. Because otherwise, it's like asking your friend to borrow money. I would never fucking do it. Unless I had to, you know what I mean? That type of thing. It's
last resort.
So like, damn, but Jason's really hurting, I guess, today because he actually said something.
Be like one of those things like, hey, did James's account get hacked? Because he's asking me for money right now.
Right.
I think somebody from high school got me like that.
But it gets you, like,
James just asked me for a bunch of Amazon cards.
It's authentic as fuck if that ever happened. Because like, if it's to that extent or whatever, it's as real as it's ever going to get.
Jacob with the do thing, right?
Exactly. Exactly that.
If he's doing this motherfucker,
it's real.
He's
one
in
of the
a
toughest
bind.
motherfuckers I know.
Exactly.
Yeah. If he's saying, I've got to get it fixed,
I got him.
Probably should have got it fixed yesterday. It's probably what it came down to.
He was in a bind,
Yeah.
And that we...
Y'all made it to the house that night, right?
Oh, yeah.
We all probably maybe should have stopped.
They had to go through the back end of the
face.
storm.
I cut the bridge of my nose that night coming in.
Right.
Like I said, rocks, screw, something.
The only reason why we kind of didn't stay off, if y'all remember, because there was that storm cell coming through, so we were blitzing to we like barely beat it. We even got missed, right? But they went through it.
Yeah, that's
where we Ubered to the bars that night. Right?
We got there.
Yeah,
y'all had already made some friends, and we went somewhere else.
That was we
went from one bar down the street to another bar down the street.
Yeah.
But Jacob ordered pizza as soon as we got there, pizza and wings or something, and we ate.
Yeah.
He took a couple.
That was a cool little house.
He took something
That was
from
a cool
Oregon, and he stayed there. And I came and met up with you guys. And
Yeah. That was a nice
Shut
Airbnb.
the fuck down.
Right.
Was that in Salem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody did laundry. Jaden did everybody's
Yeah.
laundry.
Yeah.
He was
my
on one.
man. Hooked us up. Had it folded, ready
Well,
the next morning.
That was great. That was great.
Boy.
I
I don't think you went to bed that night.
He had the
Boy.
sniffles. No, he did not.
I don't know if actually. I think that night I might have just.
I think I went to bed like 4 and he stayed
You
up all
said
night.
you saw the sun come up a couple times on that trip.
Every time we stay with Steve,
Be like that.
Well,
It'd
I've
be like
still
that
never gone.
sometimes.
I've still never slept in Discovery Bay, and I've spent like 3 days there. I never slept any of those nights. And
He
yeah,
was
there's
afraid
a-
to get arrested.
I
in
went
the
to
trap house.
sleep super late the night of the Oregon night.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that. Maybe it was an Adderall. That's one of those. I might have taken an Adderall, get back in the game, and it just one of those like really hit me, and I was like, "Well, guess I'm doing everybody's laundry all night," because I think everybody was doing laundry, and it just got backed up, and I was like, well, "These motherfuckers!" I was like, "I know what's gonna happen. We're gonna wake up, and everybody's gonna have to go. People are gonna have to put
You got wet
and I was
clothes.
like-
Yeah.
and I was like, "Well,
You
I
right.
guess I'm the fucking hen mother, house den mother."
Charles in
whatever.
charge over here.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it, man.
I'll fold everybody's shit.
Yeah, that was
Appreciate
nice.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, everybody's buying beer. I was like, I got some tabs covered on the way back to Texas.
Yeah, other than that, man, like there's just so many dynamics that come into this, and I think that if people really want to travel on motorcycles, like, you know, Jaden said it a long time ago, sometimes you hit the lottery and you find the right people that are like on the wavelength and ready to do it and capable of doing it, and other times you just got to nut up and start doing it yourself and be that lone wolf. You know what I mean?
Come on.
Yeah, and everybody's style's different. And literally, man, not to
Well,
gush
Dave, you know, from Four for the Road, he talks about a lot of the solo travels that he does in a way that I think is very like fulfilling if you're looking for the perspective of somebody that travels solo.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And I think that, you know, I've done a few of them myself. I know you did one to Daytona once, but I haven't really got to the point where I can really tell you what it's like, because I feel like it never feels like a solo trip because every night I'm with other people. It's like a solo ride to more people.
And I feel like, you know, some of those solo trips, if you just make yourself vulnerable, you're going to end up meeting.
Yeah.
You're going to meet people on the road, you know. I mean, it's like me. I was headed to the Keys by myself, you know, and met some rad-ass dudes on the way.
Yeah.
And-
that we partied with 2 weekends ago.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's wild. Like, you just I feel like that's most people's problem is probably they don't have the friend group or that want to do the long travels or whatever. But if you just make yourself vulnerable and you do it yourself, you will. You
won't
the road.
die.
What do they say? The road will provide. right?
Sure.
Cody, Wyoming. Dude,
Yeah,
like I said,
yeah,
that was one of
yeah.
my funnest. Is what should have been a shitty. You know, I'm separated or whatever. Yeah, I rallied and I met these old two old bikers who tried to.
I thought you said 2 black girls.
No, these 2 dudes that I ended up seeing the next day on the road. But that was the whole eating fiasco where the whole town, they don't serve food in this motherfucking town after 9 fucking p.m.
It sounds like red light.
It's the
Yeah.
dumbest shit ever. Like, everybody was like, no, kitchen just closed. I was like, I see your guy, there's a mountain of meat on their flat top. Like,
Can I
he's
get
chopping
one?
up shit. Everybody just put an order in. I'm asking for one more. It's 9:04. They're like, no, that kind of shit. And these 2, where I'm about, and this, speaking of Pride Month, this fucking bartender may have leaned a certain way. And I was like, this is like the 6th rejection of food. And I was like, I'm starting to lose my shit. These guys saw it and they were like, intermediated as peacemakers and said, can he order Domino? If he orders the Domino's across the street, can he eat it here? Yes. Like, the guy conceded on that. But yeah, the whole point is the road provides. And I've talked to I bullshit with these guys for 2 hours, drank a bunch of craft beer, had a fucking badass time in Cody, Wyoming.
Yeah.
You know, food situation aside, but travel solo. travel fucking so
I think everybody needs to do it.
even if
at
it's a
least
day
once.
trip. Even if it's a day trip where you know you're coming home at the end of the day, get the fuck up at 8 in the morning, go. Turn your phone off, whatever the fuck, as far as people, whatever, and go. And go talk to the stranger
Yeah.
in the gas station
Yeah.
an hour and a half, away from your house.
Yeah.
Go another hour and a half up north after that, or whatever the fuck. But do that.
Yeah.
Before you have to do any of these big trips across the state,
Right.
across the county line, motherfucker. Like, depending on where you live, maybe
Right.
you may be able to stay in your own county.
I'd say go stay the night somewhere. Go get away, stay the night
Even that-
somewhere, and
Even to get the fuck up, be out of your house by 8 a.m. and you don't come, almost like a kid. Hey, be outside all day, like a parent back in my day.
Yeah.
Like, stay the fuck outside. Leave at 8 a.m. and don't fucking come back before like 6 p.m. on a Saturday. Be out all fucking day. You're gonna meet somebody.
Right.
You're gonna talk to somebody. You're gonna have some sort of cool human interaction where fuck the news, fuck everything else, fuck social media. You're gonna feel like a fucking human. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a wholesome, whatever you want to do.
and you may find yourself on that trip too. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
That's
that's
a
the
lot
real
of it.
key.
The real key is I mean, just
Don't
just
y'all
under-
feel like having a
getting
little
in
bit of
touch.
seclusion, a little bit of like isolation? Like like my trips that I did earlier this year, Northwest Iowa, bro, mentally, so thankful for them.
Yeah,
Disconnect.
and I mean,
Disconnect.
on some of my trips, it's don't get me wrong. I'll go through phases and like, what the fuck am I doing? It's 2:00 in the morning. I'm blasting down the fucking interstate. Like, what the fuck am I doing? But then 5 minutes later, it's like, fuck, this is badass. I'm fucking doing it.
L-I-V-I-N,
I'm
baby.
fucking living, baby.
I remember I did the podcast. I had wrapped up the podcast with Brad up in Salem or Dallas, Oregon. We met him in Salem. He was at the dealership. And I beelined it straight to the coastline from there. And I was trying to make it as far down the coast as possible. And I was like, you know what? I want to fucking like legit. I'm on the coast. I want seafood. I want salmon. I want all the salmons, right? And I remember going to the fanciest place I could find on the coastline, which is probably like Red Lobster, to be honest with you. And just sitting there alone, you know what I mean? At a table. There's no service. So I'm not on my phone. I'm just kind of like in the moment the whole time. And I'm like, I dig this. Like, I'm from Dallas, Texas. I am on the coast of America on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not on vacation, but not necessarily at work. Like, this is amazing. You know what I mean?
Well, and some of those
Go sit at the bar and talk to that guy
Exactly.
one seat down from you.
Exactly.
Dallas. Well, what do you know? You'll never
you
know.
got a story to tell.
You'll never know when that motherfucker owns something like
Yeah.
a company. I mean, you just never
Yeah,
know. And he may
exactly.
be nothing. But he also may tell you the funniest
Honestly,
joke you've
man.
ever heard. He may tell you a story. Y'all may have been to the same place where he
Yeah.
always
Probably the most crazy thing that I think having social media and having done what we've done as a group and what I've done individually over the last couple of years is how many people who are very successful, who do have a lot of responsibility in life, has found our life to be like they live vicariously. Like homie himself said that. He's like, I wish I could do what you and your homies do. I live vicariously. That's one word that I've heard so much in the last like 8 years of my life.
Right.
Is like people who like they're just they can't break away from their life because they own too much of it, basically.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like I was having a conversation with a friend that I had ran into yesterday at the Harley dealership, and this is a guy that I painted. He was the first Harley I've ever painted like on my own as my own brand back in like 2012. And club set days and my old days working with Other Side Customs, and he knew that he's both sides of it. Very almost mentor like customer that I had a long time ago. And we were just talking and just like I was telling him like, when I met you, there's no way I would have told you that like I still wanted my life to be what I had already seen, like this shop with these employees and you can get your parts and we're going to build your bike and blah, blah, blah. And now I'm like, I love the fact that we don't work on anybody's bike at all, and it's evolved into this, and I get to fucking be a part of everything. I get to be there present. I get to be at bike night every week. I get to be at Sturgis every year. I get to bust my ass to go to Born Free. I get to, be a part of so much, and I feel so connected to the motorcycle industry, which is the lifeline, the artery to, my existence in financially. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know where I was going with that.
I think there are people out there that have built the big businesses and have the employees and they got all the free time in the world and they're just making money hand over fist, right?
Yeah.
But there are people that are so wrapped up in their careers and, maybe they are making millions or doing whatever they're doing. But like you said, maybe the people that do look at people that make less of them or whatever. Money's not the object or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, maybe they do look at people that don't make as much as them that have or see that they have more fun in their life, I guess is maybe what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. They just...
What's the type of...
it's like, why can't they let themselves, draw back from their career for a little bit to go have some fun?
We were talking about something a few minutes ago that I was going to bring this up, but you got to have the right woman in your life. If you're married, you have to have the right woman in your life to let you... Yes, I'm going to say let you.
Oh, yeah.
To let you go live an individual life, to let you be yourself. And if you can't find a woman to let you be yourself, and it kind of goes into what James said about having individual happiness, then obviously, like, you're basically you're playing Russian roulette with a time bomb, right? Because eventually your mental health and all that shit's going to come to head, and theirs and blah blah blah. You're putting too much pressure on a point in your relationship that can break, right?
Well, you probably hold resentment against that person if you don't. Because
you will over the course of time. Whenever maybe 10 years goes by where you try to placate that feeling that they wouldn't let you go travel on a bike because they're too emotionally not sound enough to let you do that, or insecure, or whatever the case may be, and then now you can't do it because your body's not healthy enough, or whatever the case may be. You have the money and you have the time, but now you just can't do it physically. Of course you're going to resent that chick.
Well, that's why people have midlife crisis.
Hey, lean into that shit.
What are you talking about? Nazis?
All I'm saying is that I've met more people that, and you've met them too. The Bruce, guys like that that
in Bruce's house.
And Bruce's house. You see these guys that love Hans. Same thing. Like, what these older, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful by calling these older guys, but why would they be fucking with us if they didn't see what we were doing and respect it?
Yeah, it's
you know
respect.
What I
mean? Yeah, exactly.
So I feel
Denver Jones, dude, that's a guy. He's running.
He made it to the top of Pikes Peak today.
He did
with my tins.
But
yes,
that's just another guy that's doing it.
At least somebody did.
Somebody did with a fast life.
At least somebody did.
It's another guy who's planning a trip. I think it was him and one buddy. Maybe they met up with some people, but a guy who they woke up, they did a 1K in a day, and like I said, I feel like I'm just seeing more and more of those where it's whether a guy has 10,000 followers or 100 followers, people are fucking doing it.
Nowadays, more than ever,
right.
like
traveling, people are getting out and fucking riding.
The disconnect with social media right now is a fucking garbage can, dude.
Yeah, it's gross.
It's every time I get on Instagram, I feel like I lost brain cells, to be honest with you.
It's pretty cringy.
Pretty burnt out.
And right now, like, as much as I do still want to connect with people, I guess maybe we're at a point, or maybe I'm at a point where I crave old school technology. I crave old school connection. Like, I don't want you to send me a meme through a message. I want you to text me and say, "Hey, what's going on? How you doing?" Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And if somebody, you know what I mean? Like, I'm so, like, I'm just not in it. I don't know. It's not fun to me.
I think there's too many people in it for the wrong reason. There's too many
100%.
people for on the ground or on social media in general. It's for the clout. It's for, hey, look at me. It's for all this.
What do you expect? The world told everybody that, hey, look, the internet can pay. Same thing when they started saying, like, hey, you can make money playing video games, right? When you tell somebody they can make money doing something that doesn't look like work, what do you think's going to happen? Motherfuckers going to start out there doing TikTok dances in the middle of the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're going to do, oh, this ain't work, but it's cringy as fuck.
Yeah.
And it fucks up the vibe of everybody else. But it's just one of those things. Like, this life that we're living is still work, right? It's not like I'm 40. Me and James are 40 years old. We're calm down. We're just now. I'm not saying we're just
Baby
now.
boy.
We're at a point now where we've taken so much life lessons and applied them in a very effective manner to enjoy our life. We've both, me and him have had lots of conversations. We both had a rough 20s. I'm not saying that, I mean, we'd have to fucking like cross a border or anything like that to come have freedom.
You know, suck dick or nothing.
Yeah, we didn't have to do anything like that. But you know, we lived from our early childhood or early adulthood mistakes, and we came to this conjunction together as friends with a lot of experience, right? And so yeah, we look at our friends groups now and like we're protective of it because
You know how fragile it is.
Yeah, how quickly it can turn and how quickly it's like not convenient.
Yeah.
You know, or how quickly it's like, well, Brad's in a new relationship, so not my Brad, but just a Brad.
But it's just to
Thanks
me,
for AC.
to me,
I'm thinking of a name off the top.
always about everybody has their own individual path, journey, life story, whatever. And who are you to tell them that it's right, wrong,
Yeah,
whatever,
100%.
right? But it's if you intersect one another at the right time, like it can really be magic. And that's fortunately what I believe we have found in one another. We are a very eclectic group of individuals to the point that I've said before that had we not like had the common denominator of motorcycles or the bond that we have, like
We would have made fun of each
I
other.
don't know if we would be hanging out type thing, right?
country-ass
That,
motherfucker
but
over
and everybody also
But he can't even tie a knot.
experiences things
half
differently
itch in your
and
ass.
the way that things kind of build them up or tear them down, like it's all different, right? Like you guys talk about the individual travels, and I've said this before, like I've had a lifetime worth of individual travel to the point where all I want to do now is just ride with my friends.
Yeah.
And that's I feel like there's more of that out there than those that have had so much group time that they have to leave the group time away to go have some individual exploration. It's I'm talking about the people that I know in the world that I grew up in, that there's one or two kind of guys or gals like in that county or state or what, like it's so sparse that it's not just as easy as, hey, go find your group in your space, right? Because they don't fucking exist, right? So I've had a lifetime of all by myself. So give me this, give me all of us, let's go experience this together, because it's the team. It's the holy cow, like we really did this together, and that's why I find the value that I do in this. That's why it's as strong as it is, as much of a priority as it is, and I'll never trade that for anything. Like but that's my journey, right? And that's the best part about it, is each one of us has that, and it allows us to live our own individual lives, but also still contribute to each one of our lives together.
I like watching you guys have fun. I like when we go somewhere and it has an electric slot machine or whatever the fucking, and Larry's, you know what I mean? Like Larry has fun. I like seeing a historical site or mark that Jacob is like it's a little extra to him.
Yeah.
Like going to somewhere maybe he wants to eat. You know what I mean? We all have our own fucking.
That's right. Gotta be food.
No, seriously, like if he wants to go to this certain steakhouse or whatever, if there's if Cody has a bar or whatever, everybody except Kyle. I like going. I like
had him throw it in there.
I just, again, man, it's kind of a play on the lottery thing where we've hit a thing where I'm so happy deferring whatever the fuck you want to call it to the other 7 dudes. There's not a pride thing. I genuinely enjoy if any one of you can get something extra out of a place. Like, that's what it's about. Because, again,
It's because you care
at
about
the very least, I know we're going to have a fun. You know, we could be in whatever the fuck Nebraska in a Holiday Inn parking lot drinking beer and order some pizzas, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But God forbid we're somewhere else that you really wanted to go, or Chance really wanted to go, or he had a fucking family, or whatever the fuck. God forbid we're there, and it's something extra to you, and I can kind of see in your face, dude, take my money. I'm happy to be there. Like, that is the epitome of traveling with this group for me.
It's also the selflessness that we speak about, because it's not just about you.
Yeah,
it's about
we plan it. There's
everybody
so many,
but
how many
you,
of the
really.
stops where we say, I don't care, you get that. And it's not that they don't care, but they really are. Like, because we've all spoken up, we've all said, hey, if we can do this, I want to go to this.
Yeah.
Like, this kind of fucking matters to me.
Yeah.
And we're just not a bunch of needy fucking people is the way I look at it.
No,
so we don't have a lot of those. But when we do, everybody respects it. And like I said, I really enjoy seeing that. And if not, and even if it's nothing nobody planned, God, I enjoy when there is something, when it sneaks up, when all of a sudden there's something that we didn't expect and somebody's really getting a kick out of it. Dude, that's the best.
It is.
Yeah.
Our
little
chicks
bar-
at home are thinking we're hollering at chicks. We're playing Singo.
Cinco at a fucking bar in Disco
Or the
Bay.
bar in Boston where it's, we find this neighborhood bar where they close the doors. Fuck you. They don't have to let you in. And like we're in because we know a couple guys that know the neighborhood. Kevin and Sean.
She's glad.
You know what I mean? Yeah. The fact that they get us in and it's more, or fuck, we were late or whatever. They wouldn't let us in. Somebody opened the door. They go fuck yourself. Like literally out of a fucking Ben Affleck
they weren't
movie.
letting us in.
I was like, we have friends in there. I'm like, yeah, everybody does. And they slammed the door. Like, I had to text somebody and then call to like come out and let us in.
People came into the kitchen.
Dude, it was the shit. Like, but things like the little things like that you can't duplicate. You can never plan. You can never. And man, sometimes I do think that there is something about traveling with 8 dudes that we kind of get a little better than sometimes if you're with two or three guys. But don't ever sleep on those either, because being on a motorcycle and traveling the country, we've all seen it. There's a certain level of hospitality that people that don't even have Harleys, because guess what? They may not fuck with Harleys, but maybe their dad did. Maybe their uncle did. Right. They know they got a soft spot in your heart, in their heart, for people on motorcycles. And if you show up and you've got the right attitude or whatever, you'd be surprised the bartender that'll serve you an extra beer, the kitchen that'll stay open just long enough for you to get your sandwich or whatever the fuck. Like, do it. Travel, because it's going away.
And be a good human being on top of it, because it
doesn't-
really does
that
come
definitely
around.
doesn't hurt,
It really does
but
come
Yeah,
around.
pay it forward. And
In a world that's going everywhere, futuristic, whatever, there's something about
Y'all getting the new Apple headset?
you roll in somewhere and you're on a motorcycle. You tell them we're from Texas, this is where we're coming from. Well, they'll go, yeah, let's fucking offer you a little extra hospitality. We've seen it and benefited from it so many times that I would tell people, plan on it. Like, don't bank on it, but plan on it.
Yeah.
Just go.
And that's one thing out of this trip that I think we're going to receive more than, say, the Pacific Northwest or the Northeast is probably more hospitality that we're used to. More of the in the woods type people.
Well, I mean, we got good hospitality on both ends of the country.
No, I'm just saying, like, in the random spots
Just,
where we
yeah,
don't
people
where
we don't
where we
know.
don't know
Yeah,
nobody.
yeah.
Yeah, like they're like, oh, these assholes from
Almost
Texas.
every spot's going to be that spot. in
Northeast was probably the worst.
Yeah, for
all
sure.
the fucking old
For
bitches
sure.
calling the cops on us.
Every spot will be like that spot in Oregon where the chick recommended the soup and everything. Where it's just like
The
you're
bar,
like,
yeah.
fuck, dude.
Because it'll be so
Why do
cool.
I feel so at home? Like, why are you the best? I'm thinking so many more
I
spots
passed by
are
that
gonna
bar
be
too,
like
and
that.
where that crackhead told us to fuck off.
It'll be so cool to. I mean, we're going in a place that's essentially less traveled, right? It's not like we're going down Route 66 and we're another one that's just coming through, and you're like,
Kind of
oh,
are.
great,
Yeah.
great.
Right.
We're going to some random town that nobody like really goes from, and they see Texas plates, and they're like, there's a story there, and I would love to maybe hear about it. And that's something you just don't find everywhere.
Right.
And I do feel that you're absolutely right, that we probably will find that more often than not on this, really on both of them, but on the first one in particular through the Midwest.
And I don't want to get this misconstrued or whatever, but I think that we're not pushing everybody to get on bikes and fucking ride. I think we're really talking about and pushing the people that are on the edge about it. The people that are really thinking about doing it for the first time or something. And I feel like, most people that watch this podcast are kind of, people that probably have already traveled, but maybe some that aren't, and we, if we can tell you anything, if you're on the edge and never done it or want to do it, I think that's more what we're talking about, not just every guy out there, hey, get on a Harley and fucking travel.
I'm not pushing on anybody.
Right.
It's more the
you don't have a Harley already, then don't.
Yeah, you have no idea what you're missing out on, and
it's a tribe, man. Like, we're all looking to create a community within this massive world that we live in, right? And whether it's a local bike night or a couple of friends to fucking hang out in the garage and tinker. Hey, man, I got a new fairing. Let's go put it on. Let's go put T-bars on your garage. You know what I mean? That shit.
Yeah.
Man, like, the thing is that, like, it's a small tribe in your own city, but then, as we've all seen, it's really bigger. It's the whole nation.
Yeah.
Right? As long as you're a cool dude and not creepy.
Yeah, right.
I don't know, man. Like, there was something philosophical that I was going to say, but I've had 8 beers, and
I think even just more the traveling.
I'm
like
out.
I said, whether you're doing a road trip in the car or just traveling.
Yeah, in general,
will move your soul, whatever
Yeah.
the fuck. But man, if you're lucky enough to be able to ride, to have a bike, and do that, dude, you're again in a world that's ever changing, in a world that's going electric, and don't know.
Dude, are we going to be able to do this forever?
You don't, honestly. I mean, it's kind of jokeable, but it's at the same time, you don't. Dude, get in while you can is the way I look at it. It's what a better time, man.
Closing thoughts? You guys got something?
And I don't know. Just
You know, the other dynamic that we haven't really talked about, and I don't know how much depth it might have, but we've known each other now for going on 5 years, and us as individuals, like, we've all grown, and the places that we started in, where we're at now, where we're going, like, that's also a dynamic that I think that we've all kind of been a part of, like, each individual's journey in life. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what kind of conversation could be had with that, but there's just that dynamic. You know what I'm saying?
No, I love it. I love the fact that we're not the same person that we were when we met in 2018. Yeah. Like, that's, what is that? So we're into our 6th year.
You got to add 10 years
like,
prior to COVID. COVID was like a leap year for 10 years. Because before COVID, it was like 10 years difference in like the energy of life. It felt like.
But I do love growing individually and as a group during that time period, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like the growth of a relationship of any sort, right? If you don't appreciate the growth and the changes and the thing, like, then you're probably not part of it any longer, right? Mm-hmm. So to be able to see every which way that we've all gone in our own personal lives, and then also the directions that we've gone in our connected life, it's one of those things that we, like you alluded to earlier, Jaden, we still choose to be a part of it. We still want this relationship because it's still right for us. It's still what we want, and we hope that it's kind of like forever what we want, right? We're like indirectly married to one another in a sense, like, because we have real genuine care and love for each one of us.
It's kind of like we were in Harry Potter when he first came out in the movie theater.
I think it speaks more to our friendship group than our writing group. I mean, the writing group, obviously, there's pictures. That speaks for itself, going on the trips and the miles and about to complete the milestone. You know, that's one thing. But to speak to our friendship group, where it's not about bikes, where it's we hang out in Dallas and we've done all, you know, birthdays and, you know, you name the event, we've had them. Friend times where we spend the miles. Something happens where I think.
I remember during COVID.
That comes first and foremost.
When the white guy with the ninja sword thought he could fight a mob. And we were sitting at your pool on top of a roof watching these mobs. Like, yeah, like, you know, we've moved like 5 years past when we all started hanging out at the bike night. And so my life, all my experiences in the last 5 years has been amongst you motherfuckers in some form or fashion. You know, and, you know, moving forward, what sucks is like because now we do have these memories through our social media apps, which those things are great and they're bad. They're not bad, but they're great and they're kind of a thought process because as our lives change, a memory of something good or bad could bring us back to something that we wanted to get away from. You know what I'm saying? Like a bad relationship, right? There's good in it. That's why you stayed.
Right.
Well, that memory might have been the good, not the bad that you got away from. You know what I'm saying? So it's like there's always this double-edged sword that comes with like all these different things that we have going on. But not to say anything about our friendship group. That's been awesome. But, you know, as we all grow and we go different directions, the craziest thing is like, I was thinking about it earlier. There was a conversation going on about something, but James was saying about how we all kind of come together for this cause, a trip, this friendship, right? I like to think of it as like some kind of movie where the guys got to reassemble the old team to get a job done, and they got to go see who's available, and they haven't talked to each other for years.
Oh yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
like an Expendables kind of
Yeah.
Regulate us.
The people that you know you can count on, though, flat out. Like that's what it is.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, like the replacements or something. But yeah, I mean, like I said, there's been non-motorcycle trips, couples trips to Florida and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The countless weekends where it's 3-4 of us. It's it's usually always discussed, but it just the friends tribe I think runs harder than the riding tribe, and the riding tribe goes pretty fucking hard.
Well,
You
if
know
you
what I
want
mean?
to,
A lot of what we do is not motorcycles.
You-
if you really think about it, like that's a catalyst of ours, and that is what has connected us. But with the exception of say our 2-week trips, right? That's exclusively motorcycles. A lot of what we do is we might take a bike to someplace, but then we put the bike up and we're off it.
yeah.
Right? And it's all off a motorcycle, but it's motorcycle centric often, whether it's going to a show or an event or whatever it may be. But I do respect the machine that brought us together, but I don't feel as though it defines us by any means.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It could be gone tomorrow and we are not type thing, right?
Yeah.
That type of
Same
connection.
concept as the Campout. Instagram would go away. They could put a $100,000 a year tax on gasoline powered motorcycles tomorrow, where I go, well, guys, I had a good run. I'm out. I can't afford this. You know what I mean? There's certain, but I would still fuck with y'all all the same. Like we would still go do everything.
Just go Mad Max and fucking
Breaking the law.
rob the gasoline. Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
I feel like we should lean into the
Destroy
camp out.
IRS building in Austin.
Yeah, we should continue to camp because I feel like that's just like we're practicing for the inevitable. We got to be able to fucking live off the land a little bit. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And we all want to be Daryl if the apocalypse happens, right?
Well,
Daryl, from The Walking Dead? Yeah.
I know there's.
James will be Carl.
So-
Coral.
So I probably don't get the full depth of that reference because I knew Carl when he was like a kid, but I quit watching like whatever meme it is where he's like oh, crying to Carl, and they do a bunch of corny jokes with it. I never got that far. I never saw Carl with the iPad.
You didn't see him with the fucking prison?
No,
That show is
I think I
long
checked
now.
out probably season 4
18
or 5.
years later.
Yeah, I'm saying. I checked out whenever Negan.
Before I
When
was out
Negan
before.
came around, even though that was like a hype when he killed a few people,
Oh, that was Buck Wild.
that was also the end of like the good part of that show.
I was out before. I never saw
they talking about?
Negan, whatever his name is.
We're talking about
Walking
TV
Dead.
shows now.
Yeah.
Jeez,
It was a
Christ.
reference.
We got
You made a Cheers reference earlier. Who's your favorite
Our,
Cheers character?
You have any questions or
I don't remember
anybody
none of their
talking
names,
shit
to
on
be
it?
honest with you.
I like Sam, man.
So I've been
Sam's a
doing.
good guy.
I've been doing a deep. Started
Right.
over at season 1, episode 1 of Cheers. Just as a
Really?
nighttime thing to follow through. It's on Hulu. It's worth it, man. They're like 23 minutes. It's great. 80s, like some of the jokes are a lot better than you would think, but they're written to a laugh track.
Apple TV has some
Norm.
fucking bangers on there.
Norm,
basis.
Ted Lasso.
Norm from Cheers is tits.
Ted Lasso is a fucking great TV show.
That's exactly why we should close at 3 hours, because we start talking about some just
Yeah.
random shit.
No, we are.
This is what people love.
We were at 2:50
Right now, yeah.
All right. We should end it. Yeah. We can still talk, but we
I mean,
should
yeah,
end it.
closing thoughts are just fucking I love you, man, and I'll do this till the day I die if I can, for
Come on
sure.
back.
Let's see everybody on this Midwest trip.
Yeah, Midwest trip.
Yeah.
If you're from the Dallas area, come. We've got details to come on some place that's going to have a fucking crazy party. You're actually going to be the fucking moron if you don't come.
Yeah.
You can hang around here and go to Strokers or whatever, but everybody else.
Follow the T-Bar Tuesday page, Club Style Oklahoma, Missouri T-Bars, Illinois T-Bars, Northwest Arkansas, Club Style Arkansas.
Hell,
All
we,
that shit. Club Style
we
Illinois.
may kill a dude. You don't know.
You don't
we
know.
may sacrifice somebody.
Probably, the thing is, like, look, all we're doing is creating a thing to do. That thing to do, and what makes that badass is what you do with that. Like, come to this party, come to this place where we're going to be at, or people are going to be at, and make it your own. You know, don't expect you to show up and, like, we're like, so thankful for you to be here. Like, oh my God, like, we were,
Nah, dude.
you know, like, no.
Come show up, pick up my tab, and I'm going to fucking, you're going to be one of us. Come on, dude. I'm going to ring with everybody. Come on.
Nah, don't pay our tabs.
Okay, wait, pick my tab. Well, we can't wait to see you. Come on.
All right, for real. Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
Campout was a great one.
Looking forward to this trip.
This trip's going to be another amazing one.
Shout out to Adam. The campsite was sick.
Sandoval?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The,
Thanks, Sandoval, for
the
hosting
pavilion
it,
and everything. It was the
having
it
us,
was
hosting us, whatever you want to say,
putting up with our bullshit, but again,
and
top-notch.
improving the grounds every
Like I
year.
said, it was
It's a great partnership. It really has.
awesome.
It's been that way since day one, and I think he appreciates us just the same way as we appreciate him.
100%.
What
All
you,
right.
what you got, Ryder?
Later.
He's waiting on
All right.
somebody to drop that. That hard
Drop
R.
that dun-da-dun. What you got? You want to drop a hard?